Okay, everybody's got a fucking podcast. I mean, we have a podcast, so obviously anyone can do it.
Wait, this is a podcast?
Are you recording right now?
Technical difficulties.
No, you don't have to say anything. I'm gonna edit it out.
Technical difficulties.
Okay.
I put mayonnaise on a pickle.
It was not the best, but it might have been the worst.
Do my feet? I mean, my feet stink, right?
Yeah. So here we are. You have a bad summary for The Godfather?
My bad summary is just everyone sucks at their job.
Makes sense. I had family makes move to Las Vegas.
Baptism goes wrong.
Baptism gone
That's all
wrong.
I got.
Yeah. So I had the box score. We had some unique categories for The Godfather.
Sure.
By the way, do horses count when we're counting deaths?
I mean, I feel like some people like horses more than people, but I don't. So
No, we're not counting
Do
horses.
animals have
Okay.
souls? I think that's a topic for another podcast.
Probably.
That's a good question, though. That's a
much more
good
in depth.
question.
All right, so we won't count the horse. Do you think the massage guy won, or do you think the massage guy died when they shot Mo Green?
probably.
Okay, we'll count him. And I'm guessing the three guys in the elevator died.
Yeah.
So we're going with 20 then, a solid 20.
That's nice. Nice
20
even
deaths.
number.
One explosion, just Apollonia's car exploding. We got 3 bangs, briefly shown or implied. Guns
many-
left, cannolis taken. 2
Mm.
guns left, 1 box of cannoli taken. Scenes with oranges, 3. Because oranges mean death in The Godfather.
Is that like an actual...
It's correlated. Do you
Huh.
see oranges any other time?
No, I would be hard-pressed to, I guess, think about, oh, yes, an orange, and then literally anything else happening.
So it's a big thing. So like
I've
right
seen that, yeah.
right before Vito dies, with his grandson in the garden, slicing up oranges. He's putting the peel in his mouth to be funny for his son, or grandson. When he dies the first time,
Dies the first time.
this is the Passion of the Christ.
This is Godfather 3000, where we bring him back in the future.
Right. When he gets shot near the beginning of the movie, he's picking fruit. Oranges fall on the ground when he gets shot.
Okay.
And Fredo, when he is in the bedroom where his father's resting after he comes home from the hospital, he is sitting next to a basket of oranges, and I would take that to mean that is the last time he's going to see his father alive because he goes to Las Vegas and
Sure.
yada yada.
No, that's really interesting because I definitely didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, well,
You gotta watch a lot of YouTube to get those kinds of things in your.
Yeah.
it's a common thing you hear if you suck like me.
Okay.
So
I've never even seen The Godfather. And I've seen that on YouTube. And like, I don't even know, the movie theory. What the fuck am I talking about? Movie theory channels always
Sure.
talk about like the orange and the symbolism behind the orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd never seen it, so.
No, I mean, I'm all for that. I mean, using just weird abstract things as like a storytelling element or like an indication. I mean, it works out really well.
Yeah, I'm not
Obviously, I
sure-
didn't know this one, but it's enough that other people have picked up on it, so.
I'm not sure why exactly. What about an orange means death?
Aren't you
but-
glad you're dead?
Didn't they do that in The Sopranos too, though?
So there's relentless Godfather references all in The Sopranos that if you've seen The Godfather, you'd notice. If not, then it's just still a great show. So, like the Bada Bing is just a reference to Sonny when he's talking to Michael about killing Salozzo and the police captain. He's like, you got to get up close and you shoot him right here and bada bing! Okay, guts get all over your Ivy League suit. So,
Classic.
yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the oranges, and then I have cigs put out on the ground indoors, too.
That's
Because, well, I couldn't help but notice like 2 scenes like during the baptism scene with all the assassinations.
yeah.
Barzini just like tosses his cigarette on the ground, steps
Grinds
on
it,
it
yeah.
inside, like just
In
in
the
like
church?
the lobby of a building,
Oh,
just like yeah.
fuck it.
The disrespect.
Well, yeah, they're mob guys, you know. They're just what the fuck you gonna do about it?
Fuck this linoleum.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I love about Mob March? I can just say like the Italian slurs, like just nonstop. You know what I mean? It's so cool. You know, I'm not going to.
But you could.
But
Yet.
if a Goomba tries to stop me, it's a fucking wrap. All right, I'll get you gone.
Yeah.
That's all we got. All right.
Well, I you can say a bunch right here
Here we
because
go.
this was Jack Waltz of Waltz Productions. Oops, sorry.
Where?
Right about her. This is what he says
What's
to Tom Hagen.
Okay.
He's a movie producer that talks like this.
All right. Set the scene. Where am I at?
So
You're at a studio.
you're in a
I'm in a
movie
studio,
studio. You bang 12-year-old girls because that's what
yes.
Jack Waltz did in the
That's
book.
what I do.
And
I'm a banger.
you're telling Tom Hagen that he doesn't care how many guinea wop greaseball
Well, don't
goombas
fucking
come
ruin
out
the
of the
scene for
well,
me.
No,
right,
you
right,
got to
right.
bring the energy, though.
All right.
Yeah.
I got energy.
You're
I
very
got
mad
energy.
at Tom Hagen because
Because I'm in fucking kids, right?
He's definitely well.
Okay,
because
don't
you've been
say it,
fucking-
but yeah, all right.
You're very mad at Tom Hagen because he's trying to muscle you because obviously he's with the mob.
All right. Listen. Yeah. I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, Wop, Greaseball, Goombas come out of the woodwork. I'm German Irish.
No, that's what
Oh, that's you. Okay, sorry. Let me try
I'm
again.
German. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, let's
We'll
go.
start
Run it
over.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, Wop, Greaseball, Goombas come out of the woodwork.
I'm German Irish.
Well, let me tell you something, my Kraut Mick friend. That's pretty good, huh?
Good. We got
All right,
it.
it's pretty
Very good.
Sound like the kind of guy who'd fuck 12-year-olds, huh?
No, he definitely
Sounds
did.
like
It was rough.
Yeah, that part was kind of cut. That was in the book, and that was kind of a main point where they were like, "Hey, this guy sucks. Let's cut the head off his horse and put it in his bed."
Yeah, it's
But-
a little bit less of just we're going to just muscle our way into anybody and just say, you know what, fuck this guy. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck his horse, too.
Fuck his horse too.
Yeah.
Fuck that horse.
A $600,000 horse.
Why is anybody
Can
gonna
you
pay
imagine?
$600,000
Can
for
you
a
imagine,
horse?
man?
Having just the dough laying around for a horse. He's like,
Well-
I'm not gonna race him. I'm gonna put him out to stud.
Yeah, well, just imagine being the dude who's like looking at his horse. He's like, that's $600,000 I'm about to amputate.
Right.
Pretty fucking baller.
Yeah.
Yeah. So funny thing with that is, there was a deleted scene where they kind of tell the story how that happens. They send Luca Brasi out there, who's a terrible guy. Let's talk about Luca Brasi for a second.
Did he fuck kids too?
No,
Okay.
I love
But-
Luca Brasi.
he did happen to throw them in furnaces. No,
What is worse?
He
though?
wasn't
Let's
German.
Be honest. Let's be honest, though. Let's be real. Let's have a little bit of a
yeah,
thought
no.
experiment. What's
Yeah.
worse, killing kids or fucking kids?
I would imagine killing kids is more of a job requirement and fucking kids is more of a sick personal fulfillment. So I'm going to go with fucking kids is worse than killing kids.
Yeah, same. Going same on that one. Yeah,
Unanimous.
I don't think it's even a debate.
Yeah,
Anyway.
because if you kill the kid, like they don't have to live with that thing you just did.
Yeah, that's.
Unless Luca Brasi killed those kids and then fucked them
Oh.
and then threw them in the furnace.
Which is, way worse.
That would be
a
worse.
Necropedophiliac.
Right.
Oh shit!
A
It's
pedonecrophiliac.
it's
Yikes.
multiplicative at that point, so he's
I don't like
know
it.
about-
I don't like it.
I don't like it at
Yeah.
all.
I don't like it.
if
Anyway.
everyone's uncomfortable now, I've succeeded.
Yep.
Very good.
Welcome to the fucking Godfather, pussy.
So in the book, which they don't go into in the movie at all, but Luca Brasi's kind of this terrible dude who he had a kid, got this Irish gal pregnant, and
Yikes.
brings his midwife in, and she delivers the baby, and then he's like, "Take it downstairs and put it." I can't do a Luca voice, but he's this big guy, and he's just like this big apish, oafish, scary guy.
Okay.
And he's like, "Take it downstairs, put it in the furnace," and then he makes this midwife throw this baby in the furnace.
But
So
why?
Because he thought it was bad.
He's
he
like a
didn't- he
Spartan
didn't-
or something?
He's an Italian guy, and he had a kid with an Irish girl.
Ooh.
And he didn't like that because those Italian mob guys, they got to keep it pure.
Yeah.
They're
yeah.
they're a couple
Pure
gas
bloods.
chambers away from being Nazis. So, sorry.
That's not. I mean, that's pretty good. That's a good one.
Yeah. So we open up the movie now that we did the Jack Waltz thing.
Sure.
A little early, but so open the movie right away. We know Paulie is our
Paulie!
not exactly our fucking rat.
Sure.
Fucking rat.
Because I mean, sorta, right? He's like a defector, if you will,
Yeah.
who sells the Don out to the Don. Sells the Don out to the Barzini, the D'Italia family, Barzini family, whatever. He finds out in the end that it was Barzini all along. Yeah. And so anyway, I just find you can really see early on his kind of resentment for being in the family.
Yeah.
When Clemenza's like, "What are you, a dance judge going on the block? Do your job." And I just have more shit about Lucy Mancini's big vagina. How it's not addressed in the movie, but you know, Sonny still takes her upstairs and bangs her, and then that in the book they go to Vegas, like she gets a job in Vegas, she gets all hooked up, but in the movie it ties into the Godfather 3 plot that she is pregnant when Sonny dies, and so then all these years later they've got this. Michael's got this bastard nephew that he trains to be a Don.
Wait, she's got a big vagina, and he, what, like?
But he's got an even bigger.
He's got the only dick that
Long.
can fill this vagina.
Crevasse.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right.
It is such a big deal in the book. It's ridiculous. It's
33% of the book is this woman's just gaping vagina.
I gotcha.
33% strong, but it is too much. It is too much of the book is devoted to Sonny's got the only cock that can fill her vagina. Because Mario Puzo.
I love that idea though.
Mario
I really do.
Puzo
It's like
is
she's
just-
got a fat vagina. It's too big. It's too gaping, and he's like, I've got just the thing. For that.
Yeah.
Just the thing. The
Well, it's
fattest
like one of
cock.
those things where you're telling the story. It's like, oh, I can't be like everyone else because of this weird thing I have. And then it's like, but I've got this weird thing that works out perfect for it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we hold hands and walk into the sunset.
Wow.
It's
Except,
that, but just way hornier.
Except the sunset for Sonny is a toll booth.
Yeah. Well,
Massacre.
his life was sunsetted at that point.
That is true.
I've never thought about that, man. Like, guys, we're always like, we're always comparing ourselves to other dudes. It's like, oh, I got like this, I can never compare. But dude, there's some giant vaginas out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Massive.
There's gigantic vaginas out there.
There's
and-
small vaginas.
yeah.
They don't want a big cock.
No, they don't.
It's a small one.
I mean,
Easy.
I'm not a vagina. I wouldn't know.
Me
But
either.
like, I would assume that if I was a vagina, I'd be like, if I was small and dainty, I wouldn't want like a giant, what's a guy? Lazo? What's his name?
Sonny.
I wouldn't want a sunny-sized dick coming at me.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want a sunny-sized. That sounds like a.
I feel
band
like
name.
there's a thing there.
Sounds like
yeah.
a band name or something. Yeah,
Sunny-sized.
Sunny-sized dick. Yeah, I wouldn't want that coming at me.
In the book, they claim that when he was a kid,
Oh
the
wow.
God.
doctor,
You can't. You
the
can't.
doctor wanted to charge more because it was so big.
You can't.
What's the biggest dick you've ever seen?
Well, I mean, there's the internet.
Well, I mean, no,
You
like
know
in,
what I
in
mean?
real
So-
life. In real
In
life.
real life,
Yeah.
I don't know how big's your dick.
Jesus
You
Christ.
pissed in the street in front of me once. So
There appears to be a weird implication going on that I'm not. I'm not up to.
Well,
up to
you were
snuff
drunk.
with.
You pissed in the street. I was standing there. I was like, "Oh, there's a dick."
He was like,
I
"Ah,
didn't-
nice cock."
I didn't stare at it, but
Was it
I
a
looked
nice
the
dick?
other way.
Yeah. Was it a nice cock?
It's nicer than mine.
Hey, there
Wow.
you go. I
There you
like
go.
that, man.
That's all
I
you
like
need. It's
that.
not hard to do either.
All right,
Rough.
okay, not hard to impress you. Okay, I
not
was just
hard
gonna
to
say
impress.
when I was in the army, man, there was this like
A lot of
the
dicks.
kid was like 5'4", maybe like 5'5". He was a short dude,
Mm-hmm.
but he jumped in the shower and he was Italian.
Yeah.
It's funny we bring this up because Italians.
Yeah.
But he had to have had like a fucking 12-inch
Yeah.
dick.
He wore that thing like a belt.
I was like, dude, but maybe because he was so short, it was like
Shocking.
the perspective,
Yeah.
But I mean,
Was
went
it
down to, like,
huge or
close
was
to
he
his knee.
small, you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah, yeah.
Did
I
he
mean, it
have
went down to
short
his knee,
legs,
dude.
or was it a big cock?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a age-old question. I think we're still friends on Facebook. I'll ask him.
How many inches is your cock? Better yet, how
I'm
many
not gonna-
inches
yeah.
from your waist to your knee?
Yeah. Better yet, how tall are you?
I
A lot
need
of
some
questions, yeah.
really exact measurements if you've
Yeah,
got
this is like
some
trying to
time.
measure a tree. It's like you got to figure out how far you are from the tree, how far the sun is from. You know what I mean? It's like
It's a whole equation.
It's all based on the time of day.
I don't want an equation.
Yeah, me neither.
Just ask him how big his cock is. That's the easiest way.
Watch it be like 5 inches. I'll be like, really? Really? It seemed bigger than that. But it was
Anyhow.
only like just to clarify, it wasn't like because when you're in the army, you gotta fucking everyone showers together and like you're walking past and not that I'm like looking, but it's like
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
And it was only because it was like what? It's
Right.
like whoa. It wasn't like let me suck that thing, but it still was like
It made a sound
wow.
when he walked by, like a whooshing, like
Yeah.
the air was.
He was kind of neurotic, which was weird. I'm like, dude, you're packing heat. Why are you so weird?
Right.
But he was like,
I'm
kind of
nervous
like
about my giant penis.
could you imagine? Could you imagine? What a
I couldn't. I really couldn't.
Let's not. We
I
don't need to
cannot.
get into that. Let's just assume everybody here has a 7-inch dick. All right, let's just fucking move on.
These are healthy assumptions.
What was this podcast about again?
Something about like Godfather or something. Like that. Maybe
Yes.
the Goodfellas.
The good.
The cockfather.
The good father.
Godfather, yeah, the good father,
Yeah. All right.
the good daddy.
So.
Pasha.
Papa, papa.
Yeah. Okay. We talked about Luca Brasi. Okay. What do you got in the opening scene first? of
So
all?
I just kind of like the framing of it in general because I think we opened up to. I think his name was Enzo. Was that the guy? So like we go.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The opening guy was Amerigo Bonazera.
Okay.
Bonazera. Yeah.
I'm gonna apologize in advance because I'm shite with names
No,
in
it's
general, but
I've only watched this movie 27 times
Sure.
probably. So
I don't know. Any
don't worry
names in
about
this
it.
movie.
But
I know.
when we're doing kind of like the opening sequence, it's like the slow pan out as he's like kind of explaining like what happened to like his daughter. He's like kind of pleading to the Don or whatever, and it's just this really nice like slow pan from like him, and then you get slowly to like the silhouette of like the Don just like sitting there, like his hand on his face, like just absorbing the information because this is the 13th guy asking him for a favor on the day of his daughter's wedding or whatever. But it was just like this kind of just nice dramatic thing we set up with just like this dude like pleading his heart out to, and the Don, we finally flip over and see him, and he's like processing the information. He's like, but you come to me with disrespect. Like we are not like friends. Like you don't like, invite me and my wife over for like dinner or anything, even though my wife is like the godmother to your child. And it just like very immediately sets like this tone of like respect is demanded in his position, and that is the environment that they kind of work within. And I feel like just through like the dialogue of the interaction in general, it does a lot of storytelling and kind of setup without having to know too much context. This is the guy, like he will be willing to help you. He will do things for you. He'll grant you this favor on his daughter's wedding or whatever, but the respect must be commanded. He's like, you don't even call me Godfather, and you ask this request of me. And I just think
fucking alpha.
no, it is. It absolutely
alpha
is.
guy,
But
yeah.
it's because he is a man commanding of that. And I just feel like this intro scene just does such a good like foundational setting of like why he's an important character, an important role in like the rest of the families, and all like the interactions and kind of those syndicates, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
Yeah, the thing with that, yeah, he demands the respect, but also a big value of his is friendship in general.
Yeah.
You see, as we go into The Godfather 2, we tell stories about his origin a little bit, and he's always just valued, being friends with people. He doesn't always want something from someone. He's like friendship, and then if you happen upon hard times, I'm here for you,
Sure.
as I would assume you would be here for me.
Yeah, it's that friendship and it's that
if I
loyalty.
need something, yes.
So
The fact that this guy kind of disowns him and then just comes to him on the day, like, kill for money. That's what you do, right?
yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Yeah.
It's like the disrespectful. It's like you don't acknowledge like who I am, just what I can do.
Right. Can I borrow $30?
Yeah.
Come to me the day of my podcast and ask me
$30.
But you don't even call me Pod Jason.
You don't even call me Podfather.
Podfather.
Hey, Pod Jason, hey, can I borrow $20? I need cigarettes.
Welcome to the Podfather.
Yeah. Just some of the fun stuff in that scene. One of the things I like is, and this is kind of a character development as we go along the movie, and kind of relates to the making of the movie. I like, just funny quote starting off is Michael's talking to Kay, because Michael's this war hero. He's back from the war, his dad wasn't exactly into it, which they don't go into that a lot
Into what?
in the
war?
movie. The fact that his son went to fight in the war.
Which side?
USA.
USA. Yeah. He thought it was ridiculous for him to go and fight for strangers, is what they say in the
True.
book. And
True. Good point.
they don't heavily go into that
Your
in
Japanese
in the
dude being
movie.
like, I will fight for my country. It's like, okay, all right.
Right.
Fuck a country, bro.
Yeah, fuck your country, bro.
But he's back. He's got his girlfriend with him, and they're sitting there eating, and she's kind of just taking in all the sights, Oh, I didn't know you
This
did.
bougie, fantastic wedding that is occurring.
Yeah.
Like, my wedding was fun, but this wedding was like the littest thing ever.
Yeah. There's wine. There's pitchers of wine
Yeah.
on every table.
Ridiculous.
There's, fruit in it. It looks great. I'm not a wine guy, but I bet that'd be tasty.
Yeah.
I hope.
Tell her I'll take a Coke. You guys have Pepsi? No, I'll take water.
I'll take a
try-
picture of wine.
No, do you have Coke? Coke. I want a Coke.
You don't have Coke? I'll take a water.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
you don't want a pitcher of wine? Nah, I'll take water.
If I was at that wedding, I would definitely try the wine. Looks tasty.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
what's
probably
funny
grape
is, like-
juice
Wine.
for the scenery.
Sure.
Yeah, but like throughout like just really all three movies, it's just the same like just red wine, just like almost Kool-Aid looking wine.
Yeah.
That's just in everything.
Yeah.
It's great.
But they had the fruit floating in it and stuff. I'd
Yeah.
try that wine. you
Yeah,
know?
why not?
Anyway,
Looks tasty.
it looks good.
Looks good.
I'm gonna try the wine at the Godfather's wedding.
Jerry Seinfeld.
You're coming to me on my day of my daughter's wedding. You don't try the wine.
Kramer comes in like, try the wine. It's so
Try the wine. Anyway, so caps off the story about Luca Brasi goes in there, holds a gun to his head, and his dad says, he assured him that either his brains or his signature would be on that contract.
Yeah, big flex.
And then she just kind of stares at him like, what? And then he goes, that's a true story. It just like goes away from him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny.
And it's one of the few scenes where it seems like Michael and Kay are like normal people a little bit,
Yes.
and then it's
that
all
is-
downhill.
Is very much his transformations. This is Michael in the beginning. And he almost seems very meek, just kind of slight. And it kind of relates to the production of the movie because in the beginning they did not want Al Pacino in the movie. They kept trying to get him fired off the movie.
Sure.
So it was kind of and so obviously by the end of the movie they know that this is going to be the guy. And so not only does his character go through this transformation, but the actor himself kind of goes from this like, oh, I don't know if I should be here, if I am allowed to be here. And then by the end of the movie, he's like, I'm here. I'm the guy. And also his character's gone through this transformation of, I'm now the Godfather.
Yeah.
So there's,
Yeah, probably a fortunate way just for that storytelling aspect, just for him to probably be doing a worse job at presenting himself in kind of those early scenes to I am the Godfather.
Yeah. And for example, and because this is how they want Michael portrayed, obviously, is just like he belongs to the throne, if you will.
Yeah.
That his dad once sat on, is that. So there's a deleted scene, which of course, I think it would have been valued in the movie, but he goes in his dad's office when he hears that his dad has been shot. Sonny, that is, and he's making phone calls and whatnot. And he goes in the office and he kind of looks at his dad's chair, and then he pulls up a chair to the side and sits there and does it on the phone. And so there's this hesitancy to,
Take that place, take that
his seat.
responsibility,
Yeah.
and
And so, it was kind of a weird thing. Whereas, Michael, there's never any like weird moment where Michael's like, should I? It's like, no, he's just, he comes back from Italy and he's just the guy now.
yeah,
So, I don't know. Thought that was interesting.
no, definitely.
We talked about Luca Brasi.
What's up with these avocado chips, man? I feel like it's kind of weird to talk about the
I did-
Godfather and eat
these
fucking
suck.
avocado
I did
chips.
mean to leave those out because I keep forgetting every time you're over to have you try one.
They are the
They're
worst.
Terrible.
They are
Let me
the
try- let me
worst.
try
And I
fucking
wanted to see you
avocado
try
chips.
one. Yeah.
All right.
You're gonna get 2 chews into it, and you're gonna be like, "This
Alright.
is the worst."
They smell like fucking grass.
Yeah,
It's bad. I wanted to see you try it though. Just so
I
you
fucking
could
hate
trash
I hate knockoff chips. You ever had kale chips? Those piss me off because people will be like, "They're so good." It's like, are you fucking retarded?
it. That was Jerry Seinfeld.
I know, right? I mean, at least it looks like an avocado. Is it really an avocado?
Yeah, I believe so.
Avocados. Okay,
Like
seasoning.
freeze dried. See, you look at the package for like a reason, like why does it taste like this?
Why is it so bad?
And there's no reason. Oh, you know what you're looking for? It's the hint of lime. That's what's getting you.
Oh,
It's-
dude, it has such an aftertaste.
I know it's so, and the texture is
I mean,
just
like-
all wrong. It's bad.
Yeah, that doesn't taste good, man.
No.
Product of Chile.
I bet you the Chileans aren't walking around eating those.
No, there's no
No.
fucking Chilean. That's
That's why it's a product of it, because they're exporting it. They
Why
want it
do-
out of here.
Why
Get
do
this
Americans
outta
just
here.
take good things and destroy them? You know what I mean? We can't, like, even guacamole.
This is why we can't
Guacamole
have
is
nice
supposed to be
things.
like fucking, it's supposed to be fucking avocado, maybe some lime, salt.
Yep.
Boom. Maybe garlic. That's fucking guacamole. We'll put onions and tomatoes in it. Look, it's got fucking, it's avocado salad.
Yeah.
No, it's fucking
Yeah, well,
avocado casserole. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Like, yeah, they say you got guacamole salad as your side, like at
That is
Mexican
these
restaurants.
are disgusting. This
Yep, it's
has
bad.
such an aftertaste.
It's so bad.
Holy, I need another one. This is so fucking stupid. Holy shit!
so
I need
bad,
to
I
eat
need to
more to
experience
get
it
rid of
again.
the
I do, I know, for
aftertaste
real,
and
it's-
just get to the
I'm
current
trying to
taste.
think of what it's like. It smells like bird food. I swear
To
God.
me, it reminded me of cardboard.
yeah,
Eating it, it's like, oh, this is avocado flavored cardboard.
Yeah.
like rabbit food. or
Having
something.
spent a
Like,
lot of time eating cardboard,
I'm not. You know how people are like, oh yeah, they'll eat lettuce, and it's like, oh, I don't eat rabbit food. No, like when if you go to Petland, and you go to like, what the fuck do rabbits eat? What's the
they eat like these weird
hay?
pellets.
The hay. What do they call that? The fucking there's the hay.
Draw.
What you put not
Oh.
straw. It's called it's some type of hay that you put down at the bottom of like for rodents, right? Rodents and rabbits. You put it down at the bottom. A certain type of hay. That's what
Okay.
This fucking smells like meat. Bro, that's so bad.
It's so bad.
That's so fucking bad.
It's so bad.
The boldness of him, I had like one of them, I think, and I was done.
As soon as you like sunk your teeth into it, you looked at me like,
It
nope.
went right into my teeth too. It just stays there.
It
Yeah.
stays.
Plant-based innovations.
Yeah.
Suck my dick. This is dog shit.
Not sure how innovative it is.
No.
Oh, and it's stuck, dude.
They should find
Yeah.
a different innovation.
It's not good. They should try again because they're not doing well.
They failed. Well, enough of that commercial for avocado chips.
That was a hit piece. That's what that was.
1 through 10, I'll give that a go back to Mexico. That is
Oh, easy.
I'm gonna re-export that back
Chile.
to Chile because
Chile.
yeah, Chile.
All right. So The Godfather. No avocados. Oranges. No avocados. One more thing. So there was a deleted scene. Genko Abindondo. He's only mentioned once in this movie. There's a deleted scene where they go to the hospital and they're watching him die. He's dying of cancer,
And who was he?
and he will make it. He was the original consigliere to Vito Corleone, the Godfather.
The
Consigliere.
Hey Siri,
Counselor.
what does conciliare mean?
advisor.
One sec. Conciliatory means
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't hear me right. She didn't hear me correctly.
Accents are hard.
Conciliare.
Yeah, the counselor, the advisor to the
Oh, you could have just
to the guy.
counselor.
Well, that's what they say.
It's
in
a
the
fancy
movie.
title, and it sounds
is
cool as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Every
like,
time they say
if I
it
call
with
you
their,
a janitor, or if I call you a janitor,
I'd
like,
rather
it
be.
sounds-
Yeah,
If I could get-
janitor.
If I could get everyone to call me a janitor, yeah, call me that thing.
I work in, I'm an IT specialist.
Yeah,
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you?
supervisor.
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 Supervisory. Yeah. Anyway. So he was the consigliere before Tom. Tom was not yet the official consigliere when the movie starts. It's because he's just filling in for Genko, who was there when Vito started the olive oil business and all of that jazz. The only time he's referenced in this movie is, Sonny's yelling at Tom, and he's like, "You're not a wartime consigliere. Pop at Genko, and look what I got." So it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Which is disrespectful because Tom is like the fucking goat.
he's awesome.
I love Tom.
And then, you know,
If I had him as like a personal consultant throughout my life, I think I would just excel in everything I did.
and he just, yeah, I mean, he just takes care of everything. He's the fucking man. And then Michael, at the end of the movie, is like, "No, you're out, Tom.
Yeah.
You're just." But
You're just a lawyer now.
you find out in 2 that was for a reason. He wanted him to have a certain level of separation, so he knew he could trust him, and which was also weird. Like, you're separated, so I know I can trust you. There's a weird
Yeah.
dynamic going
Well,
on.
if
there,
if I
but
take you away from the main thing and I don't, feel your tentacles coming in trying to.
he's got to go back for more. They're so bad.
This is such a terrible sensation.
Addiction comes
just
in many
love it.
forms.
He's addicted to pain,
Sometimes you just need to hurt.
taste bud pain.
Yeah.
Just going right in, huh? Yeah, you can take this home, buddy. It's all
don't want
good. You might not have to. You might eat them all before you leave here.
It's just unbelievable. How much did you fucking buy these for?
I didn't. They were a Christmas gift.
He's rough. Who gave
They're
these to
they were
you?
in a stocking from my in-laws. Yes,
You're-
it was a stocking thing. They try to give me like new snacks because they don't try
So
to just
it's
give
cool
me a
when
bunch
they
of
do
candy.
it, but every time I do a stalking thing, I have to get like a warrant or something. And they're like, you
Yours-
can't come
Your
with it.
stocking has an L in the word, and this was a STO.
Oh,
CKING, yes.
I see.
When you follow people,
Well, when I stalk and
It's not
stuff her,
okay.
she's like usually pretty like. She's usually like, oh my god. So
yeah, and you, I don't know which word that is exactly, but
stalk and stuffer.
yeah, I'm joking. It's a joke.
I really do. I really do.
I bet you do. I know you
I'm
do.
gonna eat another one of these chips.
Do it, man. Do it.
Wow. Can I read the back actually?
Go ahead.
Bursting with good fats, fiber in the rich, creamy avocado flavor you love. Branch out avocado chips are the perfect nutritious snack to keep you fueled. Made with 100% pure Hass avocados, these crispy, crunchy avocado slices are seasoned with sea salt and a hint of lime. Real avocado slices, dried and seasoned. Avocados are delicious and nutritious, but are rarely ripe when you need them. Don't worry! We've got you covered. Using our patented gentle dry technology, I gotta know what the fuck that is. We dry our avocados at low temperatures and the optimal ripeness for a convenient source of avocado goodness and energy-sustaining fats to keep you fueled throughout the day. Avocado chips are the ultimate superfood snack.
How is there that much text on the back of that thing? That went on too long.
Wrong. That bag.
I gotta-
Everything on that bag.
I gotta look up. You guys keep going. I'm gonna look up this shit on the internet.
Can you look up getting me a beer out of that fridge real quick, if you don't mind?
That's a negative. Okay.
Understood.
They got banana bites and avocado bites. That is it, dog.
The main two
Did
exports.
you say something to me a
Listen,
second
we've
ago,
got
though?
a lot of
Yeah, he wanted a beer out of
we've
the
got a
fridge.
lot of
I
bananas.
demand respect, like the Godfather. I'll do something for you.
Kiss the ring. Kiss the ring.
Don Harley, can you get me a beer out of the fridge on this the day of your?
You come to me on the day that I eat these avocado chips.
Don Harleone.
You come to me on the day I try these avocado chips. I'll do it for you, but you're gonna feed me that avocado chip.
I will feed you the avocado
All right,
chip.
all right. And
We're
next
about to
time-
have a moment here.
Let's see. I'll trade you. Go ahead, put the avocado chip in my mouth. You know where this was grown? Chile or Chile. I don't know how it's pronounced. Let me get the
I'm Italian. I don't know
Avocado.
these
Don't
words.
mind if I do. That was.
That one looked especially not good.
really not good.
It had a certain like looked like it had a little bit of shell left
Yeah.
on it. It did not look great.
That one really didn't taste good.
You need a spitting device?
No, it's down the throat, buddy.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a pussy.
Okay.
I know how to eat avocados. I will pick it out of my teeth on camera, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
They get stuck in your teeth immediately.
Yeah,
And it's caked in there.
there's a reason
High fiber.
I ate like 3 the first day because I was like, maybe I'll get into these, and then I was nope. It was. I tried. I really did.
I mean, if I was like backpacking in the Himalayas, yeah, Throw me a fucking avocado chip.
Yeah.
Throw me an avocado chip.
If I was in the desert for 3 days, no food, no
would
water.
not go. I would not go avocado chip if I was.
Well,
in
if that's all they got, though, you
No,
pull
because
up-
of the hint of sea salt, you're
yeah,
just
which
gonna
is-
dry yourself out.
yeah, exactly.
well, you got to retain the water you're about to drink, right?
I don't know enough about sodium and how it works in your body to.
Well, don't
dispute
you
that,
retain
but-
water with salt? I don't know. I'm confused. It was something you said to me once, so I'm just repeating.
Okay, well, you knew that was a lie
Probably some bullshit.
as soon as he said it.
you told me.
Well, no, it's not a lie, but like I don't know. If, I think you'd sweat more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
'Cause
If
you're-
I get the time, there's gonna be a fun fact on screen.
Yeah. No, I mean like blood pressure, water retention, sodium, and sweating. If you look all those things up on Google, you'll find the answer.
All right.
I think. I don't know. I've been eating too many avocado chips. My brain's not working. You know what I mean? It's a
He's-
superfood.
he might
it's
die.
a superfood. You know?
Yeah, and you're drinking Celsius.
Another superfood. He's drinking beer. Superfood. Honestly, the original superfood has got to be beer. Think about all the shit they had to put together to be like, holy shit.
When you think about, what I don't know. Okay, we're getting way off.
I like it.
Yeah,
There's got to be 2 parts. There's got to be 3 parts to this Godfather thing.
yeah. I mean, we'll probably do like a break at some point, but we're not even like I don't even think
We're
an
not
hour-
even 10%
hour
I
into
don't
of
think
the
we
way
started
through.
the movie. Have we started the movie?
We got through the
we
first scene.
We're in like the
We're
wedding,
like
and
deleted
stuff.
scenes, right?
Yeah, we've done a couple.
All right.
Yeah. All right,
All right.
So we talked about Jack Waltz, so we can kind of skip that. I mean, but what do you have? Do you have any more stuff from the wedding / the Jack Waltz stuff and in that general like first half hour there? Do you have any more?
Just a little bit talking about, I guess, like Michael's kind of like timidness. In the initial scene, he seemed very insignificant in relation to like some of the other characters we had seen. He just didn't really seem like he mattered quite as much until much later on, which was interesting. And then just the fact that I know too much now, but that Tom is the fucking goat and I love him.
Yes.
And then what I have is kind of starting off with Waltz and talking
Yeah,
about
go because we pretty much covered like what I had for Waltz. So
Sure.
whatever you have
Well,
for Waltz.
just the context of, you know, the we talked about, like, you know, I made, you know, he was made an offer he couldn't refuse was like the story Michael was telling earlier. And then we get to see that kind of acted out with somebody for the singing guy who Fontaine.
Yes, Johnny Fontaine.
Tony Fontaine.
Johnny.
Johnny, sorry. So like we go through all that and it's like this interaction, you know, Tom comes in, he's like, hey, listen, I'm willing to be reasonable, but like it's a little bit of a you need to do it, this thing. And Waltz is just like not about it. He's got his own kind of personal feelings involved in this. He's pissed, which is understandable, but it's just the wrong answer. And just the you know, he feels very, I think, untouchable in that moment that he's kind of arguing with Tom. And then just the morning, it seemed like that was immediately after. He wakes up and he's like, oh, there's blood on the covers. He flips the sheet over and he's got like his, you know, prized horse's head, you know, laying next to him there. I think it just adds on to how well, like in the beginning chunk of this story, we just established such a solid foundation of, I guess, how the world operates almost around the Corleone family.
The
And-
power.
Yeah, that power and I guess still a little bit of that like respect it commands. You know, it's like you come to somebody, you make them an offer, you know, to like, hey, like can we get this to work? And you know the blatant refusal and kind of the disrespect to that offer, and then like immediate repercussion. Like there is no like you can't say no to that situation, to those characters, because the implication afterwards is that they're going to take something away from you, implicate you, do something, and you lose. And it's just a very like powerful way to continue telling a story, but also just showing that these are the baddest people that you can have an interaction with.
And the fall from grace now that we're about to experience.
Yeah.
Like fall from this power. This great fall from power is what goes on for the next 2-ish hours, and then Michael regaining control and going, okay, well, we were down and now you're all out.
Yeah, we got to start getting some shit done.
So, yeah, pretty good. Nice little chunk there. Comments?
No comments.
No comment. No comment. All right. If we relate back to the Untouchables just for a moment, It's funny how it's just funny how we have in both movies the newspaper headlines like the same night.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what was being a paperboy like back in the fucking 40s?
Awesome.
There wasn't even like a printing press. Like this shit had to have been hand drawn. Like the moment it happened, like it was just live witness. Like
Yeah,
I saw this shit go down. Just copy this and get it out there.
just throw it on the newsstand.
Yeah,
Just
it
like
had to have
both
been that
stories.
fast.
The news, the thing happens earlier in the day. It's on the fucking newsstand by that
Did you
night.
ever notice how like cliche the paperboy is though? Like the kid that's on the corner, like missed it. Like they were pushing fucking. Do you think they were getting little commissions off of that? Like you got to think like, oh, go move these fucking newspapers. I'll give you a nickel. If you don't sell any, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
that's got to be.
Well, I mean,
that's what I should start peddling. Is
the
fucking
kids had to
newspapers.
buy the newspaper and then they had to sell them all to make the
Oh.
profit, right? So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
how the guy who's like getting all these kids to do it. It's like the kids have to buy basically all the newspapers, so he makes his profit immediately.
Right.
It's up to the kids to sell them all to make the living.
This is before children labor laws.
No, fuck them
Right.
kids.
I'm with you, buddy.
And if you're
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, easy. If you're Waltz.
Let's
yeah.
go back. I'll do that goo-wop fucking line again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's do it. Come on. I got another one. in me.
highlighting for you.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll go fucking second take here.
You Papua New Guinea
I gotta
son
get
of
into
a
it.
Papa New Guinea.
Listen, Papua New Guinea. I don't care how many dago Guinea Wop greaseball goombas come out of the woodwork.
I'm German Irish.
But let me tell you something, my Kraut Mick friend. That needs some work, but yeah, we'll get it better. I don't really, I don't have like, I got enough Jersey in me to know how, like,
Yeah, yeah.
what it's like.
You
for
can do a
someone to-
Jersey Italian.
Go fuck yourself. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? But like past that, it's.
And everybody can do a Don. You know, like the.
Yeah,
You just gotta strain your voice. That's all.
yeah that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
pretty
really
simple.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about like an Indian Don? You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. I will fucking kill you.
Why?
That's good, isn't it?
I'm sure it works on
Who-
the
it doesn't
on
offend,
the on the
trust me, it
Tubi
only offends white people.
on the Tubi
Trust me.
on the
Leave the gun,
Tubi
take the
TV
curry.
version of The Godfather. I'm sure that's
Leave the gun, take the curry.
yeah.
Leave the gun, take the curry. Water.
Anthony. Yeah. Anyway.
Give me actually. Let me do that goof off thing in an Indian accent. Let me do it again. Let me do it one more time. I don't have much to offer here, man. I'm here for like, like you know.
We can weird cut it if it's too bad.
Nah, dude, it's a good idea.
No,
It's
no,
a
I'm with
good-
you. I'm with you.
Listen. I don't care how many dago guinea wop greaseball goombas come out of the woodwork.
I'm German Irish.
Well, let me tell you something, my Kraut Mick friend. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's good.
In an alternate universe, Godfather.
yeah. I'm trying to think. I can't think of something on the fly. But there's got to be some cool, like, you know.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
I'll make you an offer you cannot refuse. No, what the fuck would you call the Godfather in India?
Oh.
I didn't think of it.
I don't know.
The Bombay Master? Nah,
I don't know.
I don't got it. I don't know enough about India. I am the Body Master. Or Body Father.
There you go.
That's good enough, right?
The Hindu father. I don't know.
That's racist.
That's racist.
Out of everything we've done today, that's it. You've drawn the line.
That's racist.
You've crossed it.
I don't think there's anything inherently racist about an accent. Especially a good one.
Yeah, it's fun. It was a good time.
Except for a black accent. That's definitely...
I don't have confidence that there is one.
See, there we go. See, he's protecting himself. I like that. He's a smart man. Shit. No kidding. All right. We're done there. We're done there.
All right.
It is Mob March. You know, Black History Month's over.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Dude, you don't like uncensored comedy? Dude, this is a podcast. You know what I mean? It's not the radio.
Yeah, but people don't like us enough to be uncensored.
Dude, listen. Nobody.
No one's listening.
Nobody is listening.
If you're listening,
Until they are.
leave a comment now and tell us.
Let me know if you
why. Why?
No, if you think that was funny, like just
No,
tell
it was funny.
Jason
I
to go
think
fuck
it was funny.
himself.
This isn't me uncomfortable. You misinterpret me as uncomfortable sometimes. Where sometimes I'm just kind of laughing, and I'm thinking of how to move forward from that thing.
Well, let me help you segue.
All right, so oranges.
Aren't you glad I didn't say?
We're not going to
That's
talk
fine.
about Salazzo and all the
Oh,
stuff.
sure. Go ahead.
Sure.
What you got on it?
Well, what we will come up to is a little bit of discussions like, yeah, we got this dude Salazzo. He wants a bit of money, some protection, and he wants us to get in on some drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom is like, shit, like I have so much foresight right now. We're gonna make so much money
How
off
is
of
this the foresight?
what?
He said, "I've got so much foresight
Okay,
right now."
being
He's just
The
beating his
opposite
dick.
of foresight. That was like we don't have foresight way of saying I have so much foresight right
Oh,
now.
I see. Okay, okay.
that we're going to
Slash, it was kind of a foreskin joke,
Okay.
right?
okay. No, that was reading too much into it for sure. I don't think that many steps ahead. But no, like, you know, he's talking about, it's like, hey, like this is kind of the move. If we don't act on this now, if we don't get into like the narcotics industry at this point in time, because we're in 1945. So it's like, if we don't get in on the narcotic side right now, then like the other major families are going to, and we're essentially going to be left behind. And Don Corleone's perspective, and kind of this interaction that they end up having with Salazzo is good. Am I saying that right, Salazzo?
They say Salozzo in the movie.
Salozzo.
Salazzo, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to say everyone's name awful if I
That's
even remember
fine.
it. But the interaction they have with him is like I understand like this is probably like a very profitable thing. It's probably a little bit of future-proofing yourself. But Don Corleone was not interested in pretty much putting like the political figures that he had good relationships with at risk there, which seemed to be kind of his, as we get on later into the story, kind of like his stronghold, I guess, was having all those political affiliations.
Yeah, the main thing that gives him power.
Because they make several mentions about all of the politicians in his pocket, like so many nickels and dimes, which
yeah.
was a very excellent way to put that statement. But it was just you have all these connections and relationships that you can maintain, and then just his, you know, maybe in his later age, in the later stage of, you know, managing the family or whatever, he is looking at low risk ways to continue operating. He's not willing to take these great risks, especially if he's not entirely sure he knows enough to actually see it all the way through, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is maybe some of the vibe that we get, you know, in this interaction with Salozzo, and just immediate retaliation of, well, if you're not going to agree to my deal,
I'm just going to kill you.
I'm just going to kill you.
And so what was supposed to be the big thing with why that deal went awry like that is the fact that Sonny butts in when they're in that meeting.
Yeah.
When they're saying, you know, and, you know, the Don's just like, hey, no, like, you know, thanks, but no thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a dangerous business, yada, yada. And then he's like, well, I can guarantee your investment. And then, you know, Sonny jumps in and he goes, whoa, hold on. You mean that the Italians are going to... And then Vito's like, ah. And then it's all awkward in the room. You pan to, you know, a few different
Everyone's
guys in the room,
uncomfortable.
and everybody's like, ooh, that was not good.
No, you
Right,
don't
and so
speak
then-
out of turn in that type of interaction.
Yeah, and so then when Tom is kidnapped later, you know, that's the main thing Salozzo is saying is he's like, Sonny was hot for my deal.
Yeah.
He's like,
Make it
so-
happen.
Right. But then the other thing is, the funny thing is, you know, Sonny's reputation as a hothead, so you're going to kill his dad and then be like, so you want to do that deal now?
Yeah.
Which seems like...
Well, it's almost
You know.
faith in the rest of the organization to like cool him down and be like, hey, we can't afford, like the family can't afford to take this kind of, you know, retaliation against this and hunt everyone down, because it's going to cause this full out war,
Right.
and we're just going to lose a lot more than it's worth.
But what he didn't think was Sonny was going to be enough of a hothead to just run this organization into the ground by going to war for
Yeah.
years on end. So
This is fine.
it's all good. Anything else between that and the Don dying?
Not
Not dying.
Yeah.
That'd be a long gap. And
No, just that it
getting
was
shot.
a very savage and calculated move to basically take the Don out just to get someone next in line who seemed more willing to do business with you. It just seems very like almost like old shogunate, like, hey, listen, your master, he ain't about it, but you know what's good. I'm going to take out your master, and then we can do business. And it's just like this endless tree of people just taking each other out because they know someone else who's more willing to be your idiot.
Yeah.
So it's just really
What was the
interesting.
word
to
you
see.
said? Shogunate.
A shogunate.
Oh, shogunate.
Yeah.
Kind of like a.
I'll probably put it on screen too. Who knows what the fuck that means? But I've heard it.
If you know what
said out loud.
shogunate means, please comment, subscribe, and donate to our Patreon.
That doesn't exist.
What does shogunate mean?
Well, it's like the shogun. It's like
Yeah,
oh,
I would
like
imagine-
like ancient
yeah.
Japanese type of like honor.
That's what
type
I'm
of code?
guessing.
well, the shogun, I guess, would have been kind of like a maybe more like a lord rather than more of like a political figure. He's
I
just
see.
like a guy
Oh,
who.
yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. All right. I remember feudalism back in like middle school. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
No, I'm definitely making a stretch here. I'm sorry. It should be in text probably. Right
No, it's
around
okay.
here.
Don't. Let's not. No, it's okay.
Don't
No, I
apologize.
mean,
It's okay.
no, that's a very. I'm just kind of very forgetful and more stupid. So I like to ask questions and
No.
be a little bit more up to par, up to snuff. Some may say.
Snuff.
Yeah, up to snuff. Some may say. You got to remember, I work with like
You work with people.
I didn't want to finish my sentence, so
Yeah.
we'll continue.
Is this a recorded line?
Yes, this is recorded. Hello?
Continuing.
Hello, prank call.
Prank call. Don't call back.
Pulp Fiction. Anyway. All right. So when he gets shot, we have oranges, of course.
Mm-hmm. Aren't you glad you didn't get shot?
He got shot 5 times. He would have liked to been glad,
Yeah.
but he survives somehow with 40s medicine. So
Which seemed
Kudos
odd,
to
just
him.
given the framing of the scene. Like this, I think about a scene we see later on where, or I guess it was that deleted scene where it's like accurate within 5 feet or whatever, and like both of those dudes who rolled up were within like 5 feet,
yeah,
and both unloaded completely. So like at minimum 6 shots per gun.
and they hit him with 5.
And they hit him with 5.
Missed missed like 7 of them.
Yeah. So mildly embarrassing for those guys who those would not. I feel like I would send my top men for that kind of mission.
Taking out the boss.
Yeah.
Of like the biggest crime family in the city. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. But I just kind of thought it dumb that he ran towards the car rather than just away from the danger in general.
Sure.
He basically just raced them to the car. But that's just me being a dick.
Sure.
I feel like I'm kind of dressed for the Godfather today. I really do. Like I feel like I got like the. It is kind of a dad look. I got the polo tucked into the jeans.
Right.
Yeah.
I know they probably can't hear me very well, but I feel like a bit of a don. I feel like a bit of a don today.
Yeah.
You're the guy. You're more of a Tony Soprano Don, with the polos.
Yeah.
Because this Don's always like in his like suit and everything.
Fuck did you just call me?
Because it's the
The
fourth.
fuck did you just call me?
Tony Soprano.
You call me a Tony Soprano? Is
Indeed.
that what you fucking just called me?
It's a compliment.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah, very much.
The fuck you looking at, you schmuck?
I'm looking at Tony Soprano.
Looking at Tony
apparently.
Soprano?
Yeah.
You looking at fucking Tony Soprano?
Yeah.
This isn't even a Tony Soprano, but I mean it's close enough, right?
It was whichever guy was talking about Joe Pesci in the Breaking Bad
Joe
season
Pesci.
2 guy.
Are you
I'm
looking
saying
at-
Joe Pesci.
Are you looking at Tony Soprano right now? Are you looking at me, Tony Soprano? At my bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom.
Very good.
Very good.
So, anyways, he doesn't die,
He did not die.
despite all bullet entry and exit wounds in him.
He did not die. Again, I think he should have ran away from the danger rather than race them to the car. He's old. He probably shouldn't race anybody.
No.
Um,
He should have dip, dodged, duck, dived, and dodged.
just dodgeballed. So there's kind of a more drawn out scene in the book / the deleted scenes where he calls a guy about phone records. I see why they left it out of the movie because it is like a little bit
Roll.
Yeah.
It's a mild plot point, but we
I
get
mean-
the gist of.
You're already at 3 hours, so I get why you leave some of this stuff out. This is one of the rare scenarios to me where the movie is actually better than the book. I've never heard anybody say the book's so much better than the movie is in relation to this specific movie. Because everybody says that about everything else.
Well,
oh,
sure,
because
because this one's got, again, 33% of the book dedicated to her giant vagina.
the vagina, and then like most of it's about like Johnny Fontaine trying to make it in the movie business, and he's like it's just a whole thing. The wife he's breaking up with wants to 69 more than have sex. Like, dude, it's a whole stupid thing.
Why is this relevant?
I don't know.
Is it because it's not? We need to fill pages, damn it!
Yeah.
Start writing fan fiction somewhere in there.
Chapter
Again,
12, the 69.
again, I think Mario Puzo.
There I was
Was
with her
just-
gaping, just ginormous Grand Canyon centimeters from my face.
While her Grand Canyon rested upon my lips, her mouth was on my member.
Member. The
Chapter
gold member.
2. I
Gold
insert-
member. Is this a crossover with the old Bond stuff? Nice. And Austin
My
Powers?
chest hair was stuck in her necklace.
It was uncomfortable, but I kind of liked it.
Also, the Godfather just walked in. Let's talk to him.
What's up, Don?
Where's Blofeld? Damn, wrong movie.
Yeah. What's up, Don? It's like Space Jam at this point. There's too much going on.
Just multiverse of
Yeah,
madness
Bugs
over
Bunny
here.
and James Bond are fucking the dog. It's like, what the fuck? Scooby-Doo's in the corner like, run for Raggy. Like Zoink Scoob. He's getting fucked in the ass. Oh my god, what is going on? This movie is crazy.
What's happening in here? Are those oranges on the table?
Rocky spoil. Jesus Christ. I think I want to join the 69.
Is this the 69 room?
Water.
Joe Pesci.
Holy
Pesci.
fuck, dude.
Joe
That
Pesci.
is like, that is really funny. I imagining in my head this Space Jam like fucking, and then LeBron James is like over just dribbling. He's like shit.
Crossing over. Yeah, good stuff.
He's crossing over some
Too much.
Indian Godfather. Bugs Bunny's like, watch out.
Sean Connery runs halfway down the court. He's like,
Enough of this running shit.
enough of this running shit.
Welcome to a content crisis. Holy shit.
There it was. That
There
was
it
the
was.
content crisis.
Not
Shut
really.
it down now. This is the last episode. Shut the laptop. We're done.
It really is a Space Jam of fucking movies that going on right now. It really is. My brain is a fucking Pandora's box of movies at this point. Sponsored by avocado chips.
And Celsius and Budweiser.
Listen,
What are those over there? What is that? Are those pretzels?
Yeah, we got buffalo pistachios and there's some spicy pretzels.
Oh, okay. Those probably taste good. I don't want to. I like pain. You know, I like a
Yeah.
little bit like, oh, this tastes like shit. You know what
I don't think I have anything else painful. Oh, you know, I do have some bad Taco Supreme Taco Bell sunflower seeds.
Oh, no, thank you.
I've
Yeah,
got some
definitely
They
no.
glass.
go good with your minty gum. You've got some glass. Is that what you said?
How do you fucking.
I don't
How
like
do you
them
flavor
at all.
Taco Supreme?
It's not.
I know
what it
it's
tastes
not
like.
cumin. I know it's just cumin.
What it tastes like to me is, you know, when you make like home tacos, you get the little seasoning packet. You do the ground beef.
Yeah.
Sure.
It tastes like somebody just dumped that in there.
Yeah, that's probably exactly. Yeah, it's just. Yeah.
Well, they throw it in a pan and they bake it and then they put it in the bag because it has
Yeah, I'm
to
done with
adhere to the shell.
Wait.
You don't want it with the minty gum?
Can I read the back?
Yeah, let's go.
This is crazy. It says, huge seeds.
Can you do
double
it in a-
flavored? Wait, you want
Yeah.
to do it in the what?
Doing a voice.
In a voice?
Yeah.
This might be a little close to racist.
Let's go Connery.
Hey! Hey, gracias, amigo. Huge seed. No, I can't even do it.
Let's just
All right.
just go Connery. Just
Connery?
go Connery.
Yes. Yes, I was fucking you on the mouth. Wait, you want me to read the back? Okay, here it is. Huge seeds, double flavored. In collaboration with the Taco Bell Taco Geniuses, we don't do small. We start with big seeds, fire roast them for a big kernel crunch, and season each seed with the biggest flavors imaginable. Big. It's how we roll. Check out all our flavors. Bigs.com. Yeah, that wasn't my greatest Connery. And
I'm
definitely
hungry.
You're definitely. Let me smell them. These smell like the avocado chips. I swear to God. Smell them.
Smells like the seasoning packet, but I don't know.
Maybe it's because I have the mint gum. I don't know.
No, those smell different.
Do that? Yeah, it could be the mint gum. Yeah.
Maybe you still got that avocado just in your palate, you know.
Probably.
I think you might just be smelling plastic bag. Is
that
what
what
you're
I'm
doing?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have COVID
I mean,
right now? No.
there's definitely hints of plastic bag, I think, in both of these, but.
All right, let me get this mint gum out and try these big fucking. Let me clear
It's
my palate.
gonna turn into a podcast about
You what? What do you
Well,
want?
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
give him
guessing-
an
yeah, I'm guessing-
avocado chip to clear his
Yeah,
punches
look at
palate.
avocado chip to clear my fucking.
No, hey, you know what? Taco Bell sunflower seeds mixed with an avocado chip.
Yeah, right.
So let me ask.
Oh yeah, it just tastes like fucking.
Yeah, it literally tastes like
It tastes
you
like a
just-
taco.
You just dipped it like you fun dipped a fucking taco seasoning packet.
So, quick question about sunflower seeds. Like, do you just like chew and eat the whole thing, or is like you supposed to get to the
You
seed in
get
the
rid
shell
of the
and you?
seed. Shell. You get rid of the shell.
Okay, because like he just like threw all that in there, and I feel like I
Right,
would
yeah,
I
he's
would
not-
carefully bite out the shell and just get the seed in there.
Yeah, I mean he hasn't swallowed anything.
No, but just
Yeah.
I don't think I have the intelligence to like sort out in my mouth. I want this part of this, but not this part of this.
Not using your mouth enough.
I'm about to say, how do you eat pussy?
How?
I just lick it. I just lick it and lick it and lick it. And all
I
of a sudden
apologize. There
something in my
aren't
face.
there aren't parts of the pussy that I'm like I'm gonna put that in this side of my mouth so I can spit it out
He's
later.
not literally eating.
I am devouring
not
the pussy.
Pussy is objective based. Okay,
It's more
then
of a term eating the pussy. It's yeah.
Have you guys ever
so
heard the old
much
adage?
literal.
You guys ever heard the old like cheat code? Like just do the alphabet.
oh yeah, triangle,
I
triangle,
still
square,
heard of that.
circle
I
X,
I
L1,
swear
L1,
to God,
down,
I still
up.
do it. I still do the
Yeah.
Konami code on that shit for real. I swear to God, I still do.
Up,
It's
down,
like,
left,
I'm
right,
not
BA,
worse.
up, down,
I'm
left,
like,
right,
it's
BA.
just like, blah, 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 blah. No, it's like I got to do a little something with it. You know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah.
Usually by like F, she's like, let's move on.
Yeah.
So-
I think I don't know how deep we're going to talk about oral here, but I think oral is more of like that beginning of relationship activity, and then I think after a while, like it's a nice treat once in a while, but I think after a while it's just kind of like, hey, let's just do the thing, you know, like the whole shebang, she bang.
Sorry. Sorry, I got fucking seeds in my mouth. These things aren't that bad. Like
They're not that bad. I would
like
just
sunflower. I haven't
rather.
had sunflower seed in a
Yeah,
minute.
I would
You
just-
take 'em. I don't.
I don't want them.
Can you please get them out of my face before I eat a bunch
Remove
of
them.
I have a whole cheek full of fucking. I have a cheek full of fucking sunflower.
I'm loving
seed.
it. I want you to keep. I want you to have 2 cheeks full.
If we could do anything with this podcast, it's just gonna be Harley doing weird shit
Harley
the whole
sampling
time
his-
with a
sampling
bunch
his
of
snacks.
sunflower seeds in his cheekbone.
I like the snack idea though. Like
Just-
different types of
Just
weird
find
fucking stupid
shitty snacks and be like, here, try this.
snacks. You know, fucking these are fucking terrible though.
Yeah.
they're not great. I think my favorite are the dill pickle
Yeah.
flavored. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could do a Stupid Friday mini-series where it's just 20 minutes of, hey, we ordered some weird snacks
Yeah.
from across the country, across the world, and listen
Or-
to our
or
live
just
reactions of how shitty these are.
I just get shitty, like weird, like
I'm sure
tofu
even just
stuff,
like subscription
you know?
box, like we could just get something every month, do one episode, and
Yeah.
just be like, here's some weird Japanese jalapeno tofu snack candy.
Oh, I have some shitty. Do you want to try it? I heard this was some shit. I didn't even hear what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Not
So,
xylotl.
I have a friend who I play music with. He was in Korea, and it's just called xylitol. And he said it's like the shit they make gum out of. He said, but it gets like oddly squishy really fast, like kind of starts deteriorating.
So is it gum?
Yeah.
This is Korean?
That's what he told me. Yeah.
But the words are in English.
It says Japan.
He went to Korea. I don't know what to tell you.
It's close.
It's not bad minty wise.
It says lime mint.
He said it gets really bad like when you chew it for, it's like once the flavor goes away. He said it gets really like it starts deteriorating really quick. So I'm just gonna have tissues at the ready. You're not gonna try one? with us?
No, because I
you're
want to
right.
continue
You don't
enjoying
wanna
my
soil your
beer.
beer. I got it.
And I wouldn't do anything to dare sully the good Budweiser.
The good name of Budweiser.
How dare I?
So anyway, let's chew this till it gets shitty and talk about The Godfather.
Yeah, why don't we talk about The Godfather for a little bit here?
Yeah.
I never
Serving
saw it.
size 2 pellets. You give me
wow.
1 pellet here.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't read the label.
You've been served now. Here are your papers. I'm suing Content Crisis.
I would sue Xylitol.
I was underserved. Okay. Where were we?
Where are you?
What do I have written down here?
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
We're
the
talking about
phone
Salazzo.
records.
People got shot. We did the phone records. Yep.
And we talked about the vetoes. That was the main point of this note, was the veto office deleted scene with the chair. So we kind of covered that earlier in the beginning. So, what did you think of Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes?
As far
the
as
message, like the messaging with the fish and the vests and everything, it was just kind of funny to me. Where it was like, oh, they just know that's like his bulletproof vest.
well, I mean, maybe. I mean, with at least Don Corleone, he probably had been familiar enough with Luca that he kind of knew what his like getup was.
But he was in the hospital. I mean, maybe Clemenza's familiar enough, but because like
No, you're
Sonny goes, "What the hell's this?" And then
Clemenza's
like,
the one, yeah.
It means Luca Brasi sleeps with the fish.
But I guess maybe that could have been the logic trail of like he was the only like guy we had sent out for a thing. You know what I mean? They might not have had any ongoing objectives at that point because they were trying to play it low key.
Sure.
So like they were able to at least connect that dot. Also, I mean, Luca Brasi is like 9'14", so it was probably a very large bulletproof vest. And
It's true. He's a big boy.
I feel like we're just kind of smacking this Korean gum into the mic. I feel it's getting very squishy. Very.
I'm not gonna lie, when I
is,
have
yeah.
to go back and like
I mean,
edit
this
these as videos, I look at like the the audio peak sometimes, and I'll go to one and it's just
Well, I know I am a gum smacker habitually.
yeah.
I mean, it helps with the. I don't get like a dry throat if I keep chewing gum.
Sure. I use
Good on that.
the good power of Budweiser, an American
I'm
drink.
gonna wait till it gets like shitty.
I mean, that's okay. Like, dude, if this is your only option for gum, like this is
Yeah.
There were
this is pretty. Yeah, there's definitely worse options. Definitely worse options. I mean,
Like avocado chips.
Hubba Bubba, I think, comes to mind.
I'm bringing some of these fucking. I'm bringing the. I'll tell you off. I'll tell you off podcast.
Okay.
I'll bring something. And you'll be like, this is candy. But I don't want to preface that with any. I don't want to offend anybody. You know?
Okay.
Even though I just crazy Indian action for quite some time.
Some lines we won't cross.
Yeah, some lines just won't cross.
We'll cross most of them, but not some of them. Yeah, the fish in the vest. I had a thing to say. I forget it though. All right. Well, you said a thing. It made me think of a thing.
We're talking about Luca Brasi. He's a very giant man. The Sicilian message.
Yeah.
Clemenza had to have been the only one who understood it. Maybe there weren't a lot of objectives going on.
I was gonna say a thing about The Office. They're all sitting there, just talking, and I just kind of enjoyed the whole crosstalk thing between them, where it was like the one comment is, which is mentioned in the book, but he's like, I think Clemenza's like, maybe he slept over with a broad, and then Tom Hagen's like, Luca never sleeps over with a broad. He always comes home when he's done.
Yeah.
It's just like an odd fun fact to know about your buddy Luca.
Yeah. Well, I mean, granted, he did seem like a pretty socially awkward guy, so I can't imagine his like after pillow talk was really anything anyone would want in their life.
So what do? I kill people. Okay, who are your friends? Don Corleone. That's it.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna get a shower. Maybe you should go.
You should. Maybe you'd find your way out the door. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. All right. Something about just like the era, and just like all the Yeah. The era and the way that there's just all the smooth talking with these. Like, I don't know. For whatever reason, I just love this movie and I could watch it all the time. I don't know why all that made me think of the Pauly part of this, but you know, they're all still sitting in that office and Pauly walks in and like, hey, I told you, you know, watch the door or whatever. He's like, oh, there's a guy up front. He's got a package. And like Pauly's like very so obviously just faking the whole sick thing. He's just got like the tissue and he's like, yeah, you know, and it's like, okay, man.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah. You're faking. You're the rat. And, you know, but Sonny just like kind of smooth talks. He's like, hey, you're going to be all right? Yeah, I want you to hang out. You can get something to eat?
He's like, why don't you get a
Like-
drink before you get some scotch? Just clear you up.
Get some brandy, you know, sweat it out.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, maybe I'll do that. And he shuts the door, and then he just turns to Clemenza. He's like, I want you to deal with that tomorrow, like immediately.
Yeah.
I want you to take care of him. He betrayed the Don.
Well, it's like those small affirmations, you know. It's like when you have like that shit friend, and you're just like, you know what, he's doing the stupidest shit, and you call him out on it a little bit, but like in a nice, friendly way. And he walks away, and he's like, that fucking son of a.
Yeah, yeah,
I knew it.
exactly. Sold me out. Guy sold me out.
Talking about me, man? Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Right in front of you too.
Yeah.
It's
Remember when I
very
gave you that
disrespectful.
$30 earlier in the podcast?
I do owe you a little bit of money. I'm sorry.
Well, I didn't tell you how quick the interest piles up. It's like 8 billion yen right now.
Oh, it's yen.
Yeah.
I can't even spell yen.
I'll wait.
Did you go to school? It's like a 3-letter word, right?
Forget about it.
Yeah, me too. All right.
Mob March.
Mob March. It's good
Here we
times. Here we are.
When is this getting released? I want to.
In March, I
It'll
hear.
be the second Sunday of March.
The Lord's Day, if you will.
Why? What's up?
He knows. He knows.
How much the interest will be by then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows.
I don't know what's happening right now.
I'm kind of lost.
So here it is, right? So when me and Jason came in here, right?
Mhm.
You got to tell him.
Okay, so listen. When me and Harley came in, okay, we were gonna do
We
this
were gonna
thing.
do this crazy thing, right? And I looked at him like, and he was gonna be like, you know what I mean? So
Oh, like I was gonna get whacked?
What? No. So it was gonna be this thing where it's like I come in and I like start talking about
right,
this.
so he was gonna start talking,
Right,
and I was gonna be like, "What?" And I was gonna ask for $30, and
Yeah,
then he's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be like, "I'm gonna kill you," and then I was gonna say that thing about I can't spell yen, and then like, you know,
And it was a callback
Yeah.
to the Hill.
No, okay, so it's
podcast,
like when
yeah.
you start telling a story, and it's like, no, you tell
Yeah,
a
from
story kind of
Untouchables,
thing, and then
yeah.
I start going in, and then like all of a sudden it's
all
like,
of
oh,
a sudden I cut him off.
Right, yeah.
It's like,
from
why the
Untouchables.
fuck?
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah.
I didn't watch this movie.
Yeah, I know.
and it's like, why the fuck am I talking if he's just gonna say
Gotta
the whole
keep
thing?
talking.
Right.
Oh, God, sorry.
And then he fucks it up because he doesn't know what he's
I don't
doing.
know what he's.
See,
Yeah,
he doesn't know.
No, I don't know.
He didn't
I
watch
don't-
the
I didn't watch
fucking movie.
Yeah, I didn't watch the movie. I didn't watch it.
I
I
didn't
don't
watch it
actually
either. I've
either. I
never
didn't
seen
watch
The
this movie.
Godfather.
Yeah.
Never. You
No, these
extremely detailed notes for having never watched it.
all these are from Reddit. I've not seen a moment of
Good
it.
job.
I
Good.
just typed.
I feel like it
They-
might have taken you longer to research Reddit for all those notes than if you just watched the movie.
I don't know about that.
I Pornhubbed Godfather, and I got most of like the.
Yeah.
There's a guy. There's the big pussy they're talking about.
You're gonna come on my face on the day of my wedding.
Wait, hold on. That's the Don talking. So
Yeah,
is someone
it was-
coming on his face?
It's kind of gay.
I
was-
feel like we're messing up the power dynamic of this family right off the
Porn
bat.
has gotten really boring.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's a respect thing for coming on the face. It's a
You're right. I wouldn't get
you
it.
He was
don't live.
asking for it.
You don't live in
He
the
was asking
porn
for it.
underworld. Okay.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
You
get it.
got no idea.
I mean, see, because here's
Just,
the thing with the porn
uh,
underworld. You tell them.
Dude, that's where the setup sucks. All right. So anyway, so that's the thing about the porn underworld,
Okay,
right?
so but respect is shown by coming on the superior man's face.
So, I mean, would that be you? in this situation? Like, do you want to just?
You've never taken a good nut before, Jason? Are you serious? Listen, so here's how it works, okay? So when you're sitting there, right, and you're like, and it's like, what? You know, you got it all over the place.
Sure, you're
You know?
3 to 10 dicks.
Tyler, go and tell him.
When you're jerking all these guys off all over the place, it's the best show of respect to
Fuck
just
yeah.
bukkake yourself.
Because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
need
yeah,
you.
yeah.
they need
You are the source
You're the source
of their.
If they don't
There's
have you, they have
satisfaction.
nothing.
Exactly.
I see.
Nutting.
you may or may not be a-
Nutting.
you may-
Nutting. Nutting.
You will be nothing. You may or may not be a Kleenex at that point, but listen, man, you've got value in this world, man. You've got value. Okay, look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I can do it." Right.
So I
go
think
to
my
church every Sunday. Look at the Lord in His face and say, "I am that paper towel of a man."
no, I think my biggest mistake was I was looking at The Godfather not through cum tinted glasses, and now that I can, I see.
You did say that The Godfather was gay when we went into this. Jason tried to trick me up and was like, "Oh yeah, like also that's his lover." And I was like, I kind of knew. I was like, I don't
Dude,
think he's gay. And then I
We
was
could
kinda-
have
My-
fucked him up so bad
That
on
would've-
just like watching that one baptism clip.
Yeah,
And just told him
you
all
had no
ridiculous shit.
context.
And we'd be talking about stuff and you're like, wait, so where's the gay lover? That'd be
They
good.
come later.
Yeah.
They all come later.
Oh shit.
All right, we made it here. We made it to the end of the movie.
What are we, like 45 minutes into the movie at this point?
We've got about 2 hours and some change
Yeah, I
left.
really
Here
do
we
need
go.
the boogie here soon.
Yeah,
though, fellas.
hey, no,
So-
if you gotta go, this would be a good time to just take a pause. And then Jason and I come back and knock the rest of the shit out. We'll say our goodbyes to old Harls over here. AKA the Snack Master.
the snack master.
AKA the Cum Father.
The cum father, yeah. I'm gonna go make some butter chicken and curry. Thank you so much for having me.
Indeed, it's great to have you.
Yes,
It's
thank
really
you.
great to
Thank
have
you,
you.
Sean.
Thank you for being on the
I
show.
really
and
need to do your own accent.
my own
He's doing-
accent. I only know the one.
What he's doing, Sean, I'm doing Indian Man number 2.
Can I do the white guy accent? I
You
got
know,
that one
you
down.
did Shaggy
Brosnan.
before. You
Go,
did-
oh, yeah, you can do Shaggy.
Yeah, be
I can't do
Shaggy.
Shaggy. I can do Scooby.
Okay, be
Oh,
Scooby.
Scooby, yeah, whatever.
What's for going? God. Jesus fuck.
Wait for me on the show, Modi.
It's such a bad Scooby.
Yes, we thank you for being on the show, and I
Thank you very
apologize
much.
that you felt threatened by my
No,
my
not-
retarded dog. All right.
That is kind of a retarded dog.
We'll take a break real quick.
Thank
and,
you very
yeah.
much. All right.
This will all be.
No, this is dead.
And we are back for not part 2. We just took a break.
Yeah.
Here I am overcomplicating things over here.
It's the second act, really.
Yeah. But not the part 2.
Sure.
All right. So, Harley had to go. We'll probably actually talk about The Godfather this time around. But that was a lot of fun. So, truly a lot of fun.
Truly. But not sponsored by Truly, which is a common misconception.
Exactly. We got to watch our words here. We're really...
And actually,
Confusing
just as
the
a mild
sponsors.
thing here, do we want to mute our other audio channel just so it's not...
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
Now that I've swapped seats and messed up the whole thing.
Well, yeah.
It'll mean nothing just for this last section. But yeah,
Yeah.
it'll capture the 1st
You'll
one and
figure it
everything,
out.
so it's
That
fine.
that second track's really for you.
Yeah.
The labeled tracks. So, you know,
yeah.
we don't have to
I
talk
like a
about it.
certain level of complexity when I go back and edit videos, so...
I'll start throwing wrenches at you. Don't worry.
By the way, every 38 seconds, I've played the first 2 seconds of the last 34 seconds.
Exactly. All right, so I think we're somewhere around Clemenza in his Cadillac. Yeah. In the book, it's a whole thing where he's cleaning his Cadillac, and it helps him think about. So he really plans out the assassination of Paulie.
Sure.
Where he's like, well, we're going to leave a car somewhere down the road over there, and we have to be coming back in the city. We have to talk out this whole plan. So Paulie has to think there's a whole ulterior motive for, going to the city. Checking out. Oh, Sonny wants to go to the mattresses. We got to scope out places. We got to find mattresses. I got to talk to Sonny. He sits down. He eats lunch when Paulie thinks he's in there talking on the phone to Sonny. So that's a whole thing, and so and that's where he grabs the cannoli, because the cannoli is very important.
Can't forget it.
One of our most important quotes of the movie: "Leave the gun, take the cannoli."
Yeah.
And okay, yeah. So that's where we are. Clemenza getting Paulie whacked because they pull off to the side of the road, take a pee, and yeah. Do you have anything around those parts?
Well, I guess just kind of the cool as a cucumber approach. Like, hey, pull off to the side here. I got to take a leak. When we were kind of approaching up to this scene, we had a little bit of like the shooting the shit kind of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
That was playing throughout. So this is not including like the deleted scene, but of them just kind of chatting with each other. Kind of like they would do probably on any other time they had like a gig, anytime they had to do kind of thing. They're just it's a bunch of bros sitting together in a car, just shooting the shit. And it's just kind of a weird approach that, like, even though they know that, like, they're going to kill Paulie, like, everyone's just, like, I guess, like, keeping the same cadence, like, keeping the same tone throughout to, like, not cause any suspicion or anything. It's like, hey, pull over. I got to take a leak or whatever.
Yeah. And
then it's like, oh, shit, like, that was the plan all along. Like, we just took Paulie out or whatever, and Clemenza's taking his piss, and we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of interesting to see where it's like everyone, is kind of in on it. And they just do a really good job of, I guess, like, playing the role, even though they know, like, hey, yeah, we're going to take one of our own guys out, but
everybody's in on it except the guy that's getting hit. That's part of it,
Yeah, but you maintain the illusion long enough that the dude doesn't know that he's, the victim on this thing you're setting up.
Right. It's almost kind of good that they took out that giving context to his hit there, because it's more like a, oh, what's going on? Clemenza's taking a leak. Oh, gunshots. What's going on here,
Yeah.
Take away the, okay, so then I'm going to, like...
It's more like we're in Paulie's shoes at that stage rather than, like, Clemenza's shoes or something. Like, we just don't have the context to give to it.
Right. Like, you kind of know it's coming because Sonny says, like, when they're sitting in the office, like, I need you to take care of him immediately.
I want him and his tortillas dead.
But yeah, so it is. It's probably done better this way. Again, I think this is one of the rare cases where the movie just trumps the book.
Sure.
But if Harry Potter was about Hermione's big vagina, then it wouldn't be too hard to top it.
Sure.
All right. So the next thing I have is Michael visiting his father in the hospital.
Sure.
Enzo the baker comes and helps out. So then they stand in front of the hospital. They just kind of look like they're guards. The guys
put your hand in your pocket, make it look like you have a gun.
Yeah,
and
Three Stooges. Do the old Three Stooges,
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I just thought it was funny. It seems a bit harsh. Asks McCluskey how much Soloto's bribing him. And he's just like, all right, hold him up. It's like that was grounds for a big punch in the face.
Yeah. Well, and not to mention, it's not like you're not really covered in your tracks there. If you're like you called me out on my bullshit, I'm gonna break your nose.
Right.
But
yeah. I mean, there wasn't a lot to say there. I mean, not one of the most exciting parts of the movie. There's a midsection here. There's a couple sections in the movie that build up where you're just kind of waiting around. This is definitely like after the hospital where it sort of gets exciting, where you're kind of building up to this, scene in the diner or the restaurant where Michael shoots Solozzo and McCluskey. We talked about the Soprano strip club name, the Bada Bing. That's what Sonny says. Bada Bing! You blow his brains all over your nice Ivy League suit. So
Yeah. And I gotta say, it's kind of interesting to see like Michael's, I guess like interest in like participating kind of grow over through this.
because the transformation
Yeah.
starting, yeah.
So like we kind of see the interaction. I think this was like pre the hospital, but obviously like after Don Corleone had been shot. He's kind of asking like, hey, like, do I need to go do a thing like or whatever? And they're like, no, we can't get Michael involved or whatever. Like, and then, oh, Michael, can you just like stay here and like watch the phones, like do some calls and stuff? That'd be really helpful. He gets dismissed a little bit into like, hey, you're the civilian, quote unquote, is what he gets called a couple of times throughout this. You're civilian, like just stay low key, like you're not a part of this. And I feel like that maybe is something he probably internalized a little bit and was like, I don't want to be the civilian, I don't want to be the bystander. I have to do a thing because it matters to him. He
Right.
cares, but
slights,
yeah.
he doesn't like that he's getting slighted.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah, I was waiting to see you
I was
highlighted
like,
a thing.
okay,
I was
what's
like,
gonna happen there? Yeah.
did we ruin everything? It's fine.
No, it's fine though. It just ran right over it. We'll know if there's like a 2-second section in the recording when it's like, I don't know. And we'll know from that. That was weird. I don't know where that sound came from. So anyway,
We'll crop it out so we can use it any other time we have like an alert message.
yeah. So the planning, and then of course, they have their contacts, and they figure out where McCluskey's going to be that night, so they can go plant the gun. I don't know how much legitimacy there is to this, because I watched that show, The Offer, which is kind of detailing the making of The Godfather.
Sure.
About Al Ruddy, the producer, and apparently the producer just runs around and is kind of everybody's bitch in a way. This guy wants this, guy wants this. The director's not happy. I got to get him this. So there's a couple things like with the horse head. Apparently that was like a real horse head, but it came from a dog food factory where the horse was going to be dead. It's 72.
Jeez.
Apparently the quality of dog food's probably gone way up since then, huh? But apparently that's where they got it. Like there's a funny moment in the show where they kind of go like, they're like, that's not real, right? And they're just kind of like, right.
Sure.
Not real.
It's not. That's a fake
Yeah.
horse head that we had props made. Right, props? Props like we didn't.
They're like, props.
We didn't make
job.
we didn't make a horse head.
Yeah.
No. Did you make? Did you? I didn't make a horse head.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny that, anyway, the horse head, and then the other thing was, so again, we were kind of talking about earlier how, Pacino, they kept trying to get him off the movie. They didn't really, like Bob Evans, like the dude at Paramount, no affiliation to the restaurant. But he was just like, fuck that, no Pacino, no Pacino, no Pacino. At least it was portrayed that way in the show. Just like, no Pacino. I want Jimmy Caan. So apparently he wasn't tall enough. Like that was the whole big knock on Pacino. He wasn't tall enough. And it was like, well, can the fucking dude act? Like,
Yeah.
You never seen any short dudes that are in power? I mean,
Well, I think it's more of you have a vision, and when you care that much about it, maybe if something doesn't fit the
well, yeah, but
vision, then
Bob
you're like,
Evans,
why bother?
the head of Paramount, like who the fuck is he to be like, nah, he's short? It's like, oh, did you write the movie? Or
We don't have short stars. That's not what makes an impact. We need tall, dark, handsome.
I guess. But it's like, you're not directing or anything. I mean, I don't know. Just and you've heard like 100 stories like that just across, different movie production, I don't know, little bullshit stories. And that whole show was just like, no, that's stupid. And then like they gotta like fight for the thing they want to do. Like they wanted to modernize the era in which The Godfather took. They wanted to modernize the story, even though it takes place in the 40s. So they're like, it's just going to take place in the 70s, and we don't really want to use budget to go shoot in New York. Can you do it in Kansas City? And so it was just, they were just every turn in the show, they're just, it's like they're trying to ruin it. I mean, because they got the story there is really, they got the offer really, or they got the book the option is what they call that, right? The option to turn it into a movie for like super like cheap as far as that goes. So, and then they had an offer for another movie company to buy it for like $1 million, and they're like, "Oh, cool. We spent like I think they said somewhere between 20 and 80,000 on optioning it.
Okay.
I don't remember right now, and I don't know why.
Sure. No, you're good.
But then they were like, "Oh, $1 million. We're gonna turn that immediately." So then they were like, "Well,
I could
no."
go for $1 million.
Right. And Bob Evans was like, no. We're going to make the movie. Like, it's fine. I'm like, well, we'll turn it into more than $1 million. And, of course, there's this, like, buzzkill financial guy that's like, I don't know. I don't know movies. And it's like,
Don't trust those financial people.
fuck those guys.
They don't have the vision. They don't got the scope.
Unless they're listening, in which case. No. So, yeah, it was almost just completely ruined. Where am I going with this? I don't know. The movie was almost ruined at every turn. And they moved up when they shot the scene in the restaurant where Michael assassinates them because they wanted a scene where Pacino does really good. And so apparently there's a little scene in the offer, and I can't find if there's any legitimacy to it, but the props guy that's taping the gun behind the toilet, he's like, hey, just put it a little higher, so he has to like panic a little bit, and then he tells Pacino, really let your panic show. Like you're nervous right now. Use all that nervous energy, for the scene. You're gonna prove all them wrong. All that, And so then just that little bit where he's like, he's patting the wall. He's like, and he goes up
it definitely
for
did a
So
good
there's like
job because you could see just from the body language alone, just out of it say, where the fuck is that gun?
Yeah. So there's that little. Yeah, I like a little moment of real.
Any of the scenes where it's the actor wasn't aware that X, Y, or Z was going to happen in the scene, like they just always turn out so well. It's like I don't know why we even bother giving people scripts, and why we don't just throw them an environment and be like, by the way, you're this guy. React.
At a certain point, it just turns into a fucked up social experiment. I think that's why.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's that scene in Django where Leonardo DiCaprio, hits the table.
And like his
and
hand gets all fucked up.
Yeah,
or
he was
something.
holding something or something broke. I don't remember exactly the detail, but yeah, the middle of his hand gets cut, and then he's like rubbing the
it
blood
on
on
his
her.
face.
Yeah, it's like, oh man,
That's too much.
too much. But yeah, Leo's awesome,
Yeah.
despite the fact that he dates
19-year-olds.
barely legals. Yeah. You gotta be weird to be a good actor, I think. Anyhow. So there's all that bullshit. Sorry, that was probably a bad run-on thing.
Big tangent.
My one note is Clemenza's got this tape, doesn't leave fingerprints or whatever. And you're like, for one thing, is there tape like that even now?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. And just
it could just be the material, just that it doesn't really like pick up on any like particles or anything, so there's nothing for the fingerprint to leave an imprint on. You know, so when they do the dust for prints and they get the stuff that actually sticks to, like, I guess I don't fully understand like what, like the dusting for prints, like what that's actually adhering to, if it's like the oils of like the hands or whatever, that actually the fingerprint or what. But I'm assuming that's what it was. It's just this is a material. It doesn't pick up anything left over from your fingerprint. You'll be fine. But also 1940s. So what chances did they have of figuring anything out anyways?
Of fat Clemenza sitting in his workshop, making meat sauce, and he's like, okay, everybody got enough sauce? Okay, I'm gonna go back in here.
Bad shit.
I don't know. It's just funny. Just a funny thought. You got anything in this section?
In the assassination section.
Yeah, or the build up to like, because my next note is like, food came out fast.
Yeah.
Because he orders the veal and immediately there's a plate being like slid onto the table a moment later.
No, I guess just as kind of like the build up section, it's just it goes more into the like Michael feeling like he has this obligation or like this call to action. He's like, well, I could kill him. Like, I'll take him out or whatever. And Sonny's like, no, you're like a civilian. He's like very dismissive of the situation. He's like,
the
no, like you're
laughing.
he slapped you around a couple of times and you're ready to kill him or whatever. And he does the call out to like his military experience. He's like, this isn't the army. You don't shoot him from, however many.
Bada bing.
Yeah, you don't shoot him from however many yards away. This is up close and personal. Bada bing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of like that almost like dismission of Michael, and that's like probably in the back of his head a little bit of the motivator of like, hey, I have to do a thing because people don't think I can do a thing, and probably works into still that actual actor with Al Pacino, the role of like, you can't do the thing. He's like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna do the thing.
I'm gonna do it.
So I just think that just works out so well in the storytelling aspect of it, and then to finally like. Be in that situation. They're doing the talk and everything. Everything's fine. We do kind of like these weird pans to everybody, and it's just like you're just waiting for the. Do you mind if I use the restroom real quick? To get up, and it's like, all right.
Gets patted down again.
Yeah, it's like, Michael, you're about to be a man. Let's go.
And then the most genius thing there is, the fact that it's close to a train or whatever, and then he just waits till that train's coming by, and and then it's like the build up of the.
Yeah. No, I mean the audio cues that were used throughout this in general were just so fantastic. And I think that's just the thing impressive. It's just the people who do any of like the audio engineering for movies and kind of like those artificial ways that you like set the tone, set the suspense, and kind of build up to those moments. It makes all that stuff land so much better. So the way they're queuing up, you get the train running by, and it's like that. You almost get like that ringing of just a, and then you're just ready for that climax of action. It's so interesting to see. I love seeing it in movies.
I had the thing pulled up of what the Italian conversation is, but apparently when I put the laptop to sleep yesterday, it closed out of that for me.
Sure.
So that was cool. We're gonna leave that alone. It's essentially he's like, "Oh, sorry about your dad."
Hey, you like Beyblades?
Yeah. I have a certain level of honor, respect for myself, and your dad's an old coot, and he's not,
Yeah.
he's not doing anything. His
don't-
way's gone, and my way's new, and I got to have respect for myself, and your dad had to be taken out.
I don't think there's a good way to have that conversation.
Yeah. So, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But on the, there's a, when he comes back from the bathroom, and you remember like, and this is a thing that they kind of talk about in The Offer where they go, talking about how Clemenza's like, drop the gun, like just tells him drop the gun every time.
Mm-hmm. Just let it fall out of your hands and leave, and don't make eye contact, but don't look away, and
yeah.
Yep.
And the fact that he even said like, come out of the bathroom blasting.
Yeah.
Don't go sit down. And then what does he do first? He goes and sits down. And so they were talking about how that moment is kind of built, because Coppola and Puzo sat there and, adapted it as a screenplay, because it was just the book. And I think Coppola's probably sitting there like, big pussy, big pussy, big pussy. Okay. Enough with the pussy.
So anyways, I started blasting.
Yeah. So they're sitting there talking about it. They have a little scene in The Offer where they're sitting talking about it. He's like, and he's holding the gun up, and they're going, why aren't you listening to Clemenza, Michael? And then finally he drops the gun, and everything's over. And then I don't know. So just a fun little like tension builder there, because he's not supposed to sit down. He sits down, he listens for a second. He comes to the end of his sentence where he's basically like, and your father like sucks, and I gotta respect for myself, and
it's like the opening
I'll
up
fucking do it again.
for a response, basically.
Yeah, and that's when his eyes get kind of wide, and he stands up from the table, and he shoots him, and
yeah,
he's gone. Whoosh, drops the gun.
Well, I like the way he drops. Like he starts walking away, and he has like this weird like grip with it, and he like, yeah, he's like holding it kind of tensely, and then just drops it. His hand kind of goes up.
So literally everybody saw him drop the gun.
Yeah. But I mean, at that point, everyone had abandoned it. I mean, just from the framing of the scene, like as soon as the first shot went off, everyone bolted for the door. So
yeah,
no witnesses.
The other thing that I kind of wonder about is, so it's always kind of been goofy to me since the first time I watched this. Is the whole like going to wait for the heat to cool off in Italy, I was like, don't you think he could just hide? Like, all you need to do is just not get caught by. I mean, I suppose there's the other families that might want to kill you.
Sure.
Since you killed their guy, but like, really, all you need to do is just hide, like, in the basement.
Yeah.
Kind of. You know, I mean, like, the mall, as they call it, in Long Island is so heavily guarded. So it just kind of seems like, okay, Michael just doesn't get to leave the house.
Yeah, it's like house arrest for a couple years or something. Whatever.
You know, because I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're right. It seems kind of odd that we have to almost like banish him, you know, for a couple of years, and that there's not, I guess, like clear reason, or like it wasn't brought to like the audience attention of like they're looking for him, so this is why we're making him, you know, flee the country basically.
But then they find out he's there anyway.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, maybe go to a different part of Italy. And then before he can leave, they got there.
Yeah.
You know, and blew up Apollonia instead. And
Rip.
yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to return to your old life, though. Just wait for your new wife to die, and then
Yeah.
he's like, ah, shit. I guess I can go back to America, though.
Yeah.
I wonder what Kay's doing.
I hope she's still single. She was.
Hey, wait for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the whole assassination in the restaurant's my second favorite scene in the movie.
No. Very good.
I had the thing about. I had a Sopranos thing, but Harley's gone. So.
What's a soprano?
Well, I'll tell you about it later. I think we mentioned this with the oranges earlier. Just oranges in the bedroom the last time Fredo sees his father alive before leaving for Vegas. Also, when Michael says goodbye to Sonny before going to Italy, it's like, you know, if you've seen it before and then you watch it again, you're like, oh, that's the last time he sees his brother alive.
Yeah.
You know, so kind of messed up. Yeah, anyway. Other thing, Michael's face story isn't really detailed much in the movie. You know, because he's always walking around Italy doing the whole this deal, you know?
Handkerchief.
Yeah. Basically, it was because, and they very, like, slightly mention it, you know, when Fredo's in Vegas and he's like, hey, your face looks great. Whoever did that surgery, yada, 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 right? But basically, the deal is it didn't heal right because he went to Italy and he didn't trust the doctors there to have them fix it. And so he waited till he got to America and then they fixed it there. And so there's the one deleted scene where they're talking in the garden and he's still got the fucked up face. But then every time you see him after that, you know, face is good.
Sure.
So, yeah. Okay. What do you got? Anything on Italy?
Just that it was a weird usage of time, like of screen time.
Yeah.
You know, we were pretty much just following Michael, like wasting time. Like he finds a girl, he tries to have this air of like I'm going to be a respectable man. I will only see her under the supervision of the family. And he, you know, does the whole thing, and then he's like, I want to marry her, and then they get married, and he's like, I'm going to bone her now. And they get boned. It just seemed like a weird utilization of screen time, and it didn't add a lot of context to the story outside of, I guess, the scope of a you know, Michael's like looking just for some level of like happiness, normalcy, I guess, amidst like the weirdness, because he's got nothing else really going on at the time.
Yeah.
And then I think once like the interaction, or like once like she got blown up, like we're kind of back in that home vibe a little bit of like, I'm no longer the civilian. It's like it almost that clicks in his head. It's like okay, like the fantasy's over, the vacation's over, I got to go to work now.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what it felt like to me, is that it was a weird vacation for him until it felt like it was work again. He was like, all right, let's go to work.
Yeah. I as I told you earlier when we were talking about it, is I could kind of take or leave the Italy stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, it doesn't excite me. You know, like my second favorite scene is him assassinating the guys. My favorite scene is the whole baptism thing where everybody gets whacked
Yeah.
simultaneously as he's renouncing Satan. So yeah, I could do without the Italy stuff. I guess what Coppola kind of talks about is like, oh, Italy's his transformation, into being the Don because he loses his wife and.
But it's not it
whole
just doesn't
thing.
like from the audience side. It just doesn't seem like enough for that transformation.
Well,
know what I
I mean,
mean?
to me, the transformation was him going and killing, Solozzo and
'Cause
McCluskey in a
he's-
public place.
He's breaking, and that goes to like that build up. Like he's breaking the civilian threshold. He's like, I'm no longer a bystander, and I'm just like, I'm a child of the family, but I'm not part of the family kind of thing. I don't interact with that stuff. To like I have killed for the family now.
Yeah.
Like that to me, like that's the transformation. I'm 100% with you there. The Italy stuff is vacation.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any other opinion.
Plus, the funny thing about the Italy thing is his marriage is what gets him. They know about his whereabouts now.
Yeah.
Because he gets married. Like, your wedding drew attention to you, and yada
See,
yada yada.
marriage is a lie.
Marriage is the worst thing you could do. You're gonna get that
Don't-
girl killed.
Don't tell my wife.
All right, oranges. Michael's face. Okay, so the worst looking scene of the movie. And there's not a lot of bad looking scenes, I don't think. I think this is, for being 1972, I think this movie's incredibly shot. Everything looks really good.
Sure. Now, granted, we
Um,
also do have the luxury of, some digital remastering involved. You yourself have seen the VHS tapes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a VHS. It's grainy, it's the
Yeah.
it's the whole bit.
But as the average bear that gets to consume this after the fact, I think everything I've
Everything
seen
remastered.
has been
it looks really good.
1080p minimum. So
Right, and I don't even mean like so much the screen quality, so much as stuff just looks good as far as like the cinematography for being such an old movie, and
I see.
and things like people getting shot, like it's not like super obvious of like I mean, the Sonny getting massacred at the toll booth, looks pretty damn good.
Yeah. There's only one section of it where there's a dude not like 6.5 feet away from him with the Tommy gun.
Yeah.
And
Like
starts blasting, but not even in the general direction of
Yeah.
Sonny. But
And like the one bullet hits him in the face, like his face should probably exploded there.
yeah.
If we're being realistic.
Well,
about
I think we looked it up one time. We were looking at like what type of ammunition like the Tommy guns took, and there was like two different versions. One was like a 45 ACP or something. And it's like one of them maybe like it wouldn't have done quite as much damage, but most of them like definitely would have been a little bit of Swiss cheesing people. So then when you have 6 of them,
Sonny got Swissed.
yeah, Sonny should have gotten Swissed. Either way, they're who was the guy you talked to at the funeral parlor?
Oh, Bonazetta.
Yeah. So like when they were like, hey, like we need you to.
I need you to use all your powers. Yeah.
There wasn't not enough power to fix that. There shouldn't have been.
Shouldn't have been, yeah. So the worst looking scene in the movie, though,
Sure.
is definitely Sonny's impregnating Lucy,
As is tradition.
because that comes into play in Godfather Part 3, and what happens is he leaves. He's going to pick up his sister Connie because he's just in town. He's like, hey, let's go see. Why don't you come see Dad? And she, opens the door and she's kind of like turning away. Doesn't want him to see her face. And so he gets immediately mad. Bites his finger and all that, which is goofy. And he just goes right over, beats Carlo up. He's running a book, like sitting on the stoop, talking about gambling and shit. And so in a James Caan interview with Mark Maron, he called what he threw at Carlo an attitude adjuster.
Mhm.
You know, he said the prop guy.
Like little bat or something is what it looked like, but yeah.
He was he talked about it as like he's like, you know, like a little bat like you buy at the ball games.
Mhm.
He's like, but also sometimes, you know, you'd break the top half of the broom off and, you know, you'd call that an attitude adjuster. James Caan, by the way, is just the fucking man. If you have an hour to listen to like him on Mark Maron or just him in any interview, he's like the smoothest, fucking coolest dude there is, or there was, because he's gone now. But, just awesome. Anyway, I think he's awesome in everything he's in, Elf included. He's sweet. I haven't watched everything he's in, but James Caan, awesome. So he said, you know, he's telling the story like he's telling the prop guy. You know, the prop guy's like, hey, what's this doing in here? He's like, is it bothering you? Fucking leave it in there. Just leave it in there, would you? Like, yelling at the guy. Like, okay. And so that day, he's like, hey, come here. And he throws it at him. And he said he actually, like, hit Carlo, Gianni is the guy.
Yeah.
Gianni Rousseau. Actually hit the dude. And, apparently, so he didn't go into any more detail on that, but in the offer, there's like this alternate storyline they kind of make up where, because Talia Shire has never said anything about Gianni Russo hitting her. But in the show, they make it so like, oh, you know, he got really rough with me during that whole scene where he's supposed to be beating me up, and he actually hit me, and like, so Al Ruddy in the show goes up to James Caan and he's like, hey, you want to give him a little extra beating there? And, you know, and then the dude does like a nice little James Caan impression. He's like, hey, whatever you say, boss, you know? Yeah. The offer's a really entertaining thing. Is everything factual? No. But it's fun. It's really fun, especially if you like The Godfather. So, check that out. But, I don't see how there was like a legitimate him getting beat up, because there was like some of those punches
fake ass hits
that just
yeah.
do not connect, and it was too obvious. I mean, I swear his fist was like 3 inches away from that dude's face.
Now I will say, like, yeah, most of like the fist, like the punching, like definitely looked like it was just like nothing had ever made contact, but a lot of the kicks looked like he was at least hitting them. So I mean, they at least were trying to do a good job. You know, this might have been like, you know, not primetime WWE level of like I'm hitting you and you kind of do the big body flinch kind of thing, but it did at least look like, you know, some of the stuff had some impact, and I think it did what the scene needed. But there were some very egregious, like, I wasn't even close to punching you, but we're all gonna act like I hit you kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, James Caan was even talking about like, oh, fucking guy, he's just kind of, you know, he stretches the truth that Gianni, you know, because Gianni wrote in his book or something like that, like, yeah, James Caan, like, I had a couple broken ribs after that, like, he really like hurt me. Like, I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle, because James Caan's like, I didn't fucking touch him, and then, you know, Gianni Russo's like, you know, he fucking broke my ribs, he bit my fingers, and it was like, probably got kicked harder than he'd have liked.
Probably bit the fingers too.
Definitely didn't get punched.
Yeah.
But you know.
But you know, again, that's probably just a little bit of the showmanship. You know, it's just dramatic. Oh, he broke my ribs. He kicked the shit out of me. It's like, get over it.
But that was probably like the worst, as far as like any sort of, you know, making things look good. Probably the worst of the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's tougher with that type of framing too, because it was a much more like zoomed out scene for a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know, and typically when you're doing any of those like action sequences, I look at like the James Bond movies, for example, because that's the only thing that matters anymore. But
damn straight.
But you know, all of those fight sequences, they're pretty like close bodied, you know, and they're framed in a way where it's like you can't really see the contact necessarily.
Especially those older Connery ones,
Yeah.
where it's like everything looks like it's kind of fast forwarded, like they did it really slow, and then they just like, you know,
Sped
went
it
a
up.
few more frames faster, and yeah.
But you know, it's exactly like that. You know, it's just it just doesn't feel quite as good, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
I don't know. Is there anything better there? I mean, you just hit him with the car. Does that look better?
I mean, Hitting
Just
him with,
drives the car up onto the stoop.
yeah, honestly, that would have been kind of cool though if it was like the, like you pull up and you yell at him, and then he starts running, and then as he crosses his street, you hit him with the car. You get the nice like stunt actor barrel roll kind of thing, and then beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
That would have been kind of lit.
Yeah.
But
Yep. So Sonny's death. I love Sonny's temper. The whole he gets off the phone with Connie. He's like, "You stay there. You stay there." He's like, he hangs up and he's like,
son of a
well, first it's like, "Son of a bitch."
yeah,
Son of a bitch.
yeah. It's like, Sonny, what's wrong?
He just runs out.
Yeah. But I mean, that's again, I know people like that.
Yeah.
So I've been in that situation of like what happened? It's just like fuck. Fuck! Like it's just what? Say words. I don't know.
Use your words.
Use your words.
Yeah, they
But-
don't. They never do.
I never do.
They never do. All right. So then, and the other thing, like there was a little interview with James Caan somewhere on the DVD where he's just talking about like all the squibs attached to him
Mm.
because they had to attach a lot,
Right.
for getting pelted, getting swissed.
Swist.
He said the special effects guy was like, it's like, I never attached this many squibs up to a guy, this might be a little sketchy. And James Caan's like, what the fuck would you tell me that right now, huh? You gotta be telling me that for what? I just thought that was funny.
What the fuck are you telling me that for?
Again, James Caan, just awesome. We can cover the Fabrizio thing in the... I don't know. I'll just say it. So, Fabrizio is the little bodyguard that betrays him in Italy. Betrays Michael in Italy. And so in the next movie, there's a deleted scene where Fabrizio, they finally track him down and his car explodes.
Very good. Fuck
In
that
the
guy.
book, he is part of the mass assassination during the baptism.
Oh, okay.
And so,
That also seems like it would have made sense, but
because apparently Fabrizio made his way to America and he opened up a little pizza place. And in Italy, he has this tattoo on him where if he like moves his stomach right, like it looks like a husband stabbing a cheating wife.
okay.
And then the only time that this imagery is ever brought up is not on a tattoo, but in the little street puppet show that Michael and Kay walk by in Godfather Part 3, which to anybody still listening, maybe this podcast is for you if you're following me through all that. But so during the execution, basically the dude is like, "Hey, I hear you got a tattoo on you. Let me see it." And the dude kind of like figures out what's up.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't think.
I've been made.
Yeah, I don't think you need to, And then he just gets shot, and then the tattoo is exposed, and he's laying there on the ground, shot in his pizza parlor. Whereas it's a deleted scene in Part 2 with his car blowing up after he closes down his pizza place for the night.
Yeah. I kind of like the impact of that more than.
The car blowing up.
No, I
Or
like
the
the car
tattoo.
blowing up
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit more.
Right. So I have the meeting of the 5 families plus every mob boss in America seems excessive
Yeah.
to me. I don't know what you thought about it.
I mean, I like the idea that they commanded the authority enough that it made sense for everybody to show up,
Yeah.
but also seemed like way more effort than it needed to be. It's
Well,
like, hey, like
yeah.
these guys have got to be busy. Like, what are we doing here?
I mean, to me, it was kind of like all these dudes. I don't know, to talk about operating drugs or your operations with drugs now, with like every major mob boss in the country, just seemed not necessary, because what you do in your neighborhood, why does that? I mean, in New York, it makes sense, because they're all right here.
Yeah.
And they're all like, well, Don Corleone helped me out, use those politicians in your pocket like so many nickels and dimes.
Such a good line.
And so that makes sense to me if you got all the New York guys together.
Sure.
But then this guy from Detroit's in, this guy from California.
But it's the assertion of control, because if I decide, like, all right, like I'm going to do narcotics. I do this for 5 years. I get somehow amass like all of this, maybe I get some political control involved with this as well, try and get like some legislation passed or whatever to make it, less impacting for any crimes or anything. Like if you can work it in a way where it's like well, all right, like I'm now the biggest dick at this table right now. Why am I not going to target the guy next door to me and just snuff him out, take all of his territory? And then, you know what I mean? Like, I see the logic in if I take advantage of this thing as an individual and I'm the only one taking advantage of it and I just happen to be successful with it,
Right.
I'm just going to utilize that advantage now to destroy everybody else and get them out of the way, essentially, and then take advantage of their territory.
But
So
what's that have to do with the guy from California?
Because I guess it's just some level of near proximity. Some people are going to be closer to other people.
Right.
So the guy in California might not be quite as worried with taking on something and then like, oh, I'm going to fly some guys over to New York to take them out. That's probably not going to be the situation, but
Yeah.
I'd imagine there's a context of, if I don't do this, maybe there's going to be some smaller group that's going to take advantage of this. They're going to somehow get, some political power or whatever, and then I'm going to be fucked because I haven't acknowledged that this is, a lot of potential revenue, a lot of potential power, a lot of potential influence. It's FOMO, fear of missing out.
Okay.
I
don't really see it, but
I think there has to be some level of that. Maybe not as much as I'm trying to harp on here, but there had to have been some level of if I don't do it, someone else is going to do it, and then does that put me at jeopardy? Because that's what kind of, Tom was referencing
right.
to Don earlier. So
I guess I understand it if all the New York guys get together, but the guy from Detroit or California, to me,
Detroit's
doesn't
not
make
that
a whole
far
lot.
away.
Well, still though, I mean, what do you got between? There's at least an Ohio and an Indiana in between.
Well, sure, but I mean,
And whatever's next to Ohio between New York, what's North Pennsylvania, and then I don't know. There's
So
a lot going on there.
when we flew Tom out to go talk to Waltz,
Right.
Where was Waltz?
California.
Okay, so we flew Tom all the way out there.
Oh, it's because Johnny lives there and he's doing a favor for Johnny.
And then we flew Luca all the way out there.
Well,
Luca
not
Borset.
according to this movie.
Well,
If you go into deleted scenes, yes, we flew Luca out there to do that. But
you
what's
know what
that
I mean?
have
Like,
to do with the drug power?
I'm saying if we are willing to travel distances to create an event that's going to show both, influence, power, retaliation
Mm-hmm.
against somebody, then, even though it's an individual who may not have been in, direct under a family member, one of the major families, if we're willing to fly people out across the country at that level to shake up some trees, like why would we not do that for other circumstances of just hey, I've got all this money, I've got all this political power, I've got all these people who can say like we can do this, or we were here on this date and we never sent people to New York to bash these people's skulls in. The potential
I
energy
guess.
has to exist. It just has to.
I suppose
And
I
if
kinda
it doesn't,
see,
then
but
I'm going to start my own family with blackjack and hookers, and we're going to be flying people all across the country. We're going to be fucking everybody up, and there's going to be a lot of meth involved.
good. I guess I kind of see what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like they weren't really connected when they sent Tom out there. Because if they sent Tom out there and then Luca to do a horse head, allegedly according to the deleted scenes,
Allegedly.
that means that the families aren't close enough and operating in unison, or just in any sort of partnership, really. At least the New York guys and the California guys, because they're still sending their own guys out there to do said tasks. Whereas if they were close, if they were operating as partners, they'd just be like, "Hey, would you talk to this fucking Waltz guy?"
Yeah.
What? I'm gonna pay for Tom to fly all the way to California and talk to him when you could
Tom
just do
loves
it?
flying. What are you talking about?
All right, so then now I gotta send Luke out there to cut off a horse head and stick in this. Can you do it?
There's no way Luca likes flying. There's no way.
No. That's a fucking meatball of a man. There's a 7-foot meatball of a man. I don't know how tall the guy was, but
9'14".
anyway, I'm just saying, it's a little unnecessary, especially when the conflict is between, essentially, the Corleones, the Italias, the Barzinis. I feel like you can have a sit down with those three and just be like, "Are we good? I'm not gonna kill you guys anymore. Are you gonna kill any of my guys anymore?
No more retaliation. No more vengeance. We good?
I don't seek vengeance. I'll help you with the drug stuff."
I love
But then somehow the Detroit guy is like, like he stands up and he kind of makes points about like, "Oh yeah, I used to pay guys extra not to get involved, but the money's too good." He's like, and then he decides like, "We're doing it," and he's just like, "But I don't want to near schools, and I don't want to hear." And
it's only in the colored neighborhoods or whatever.
That was a rough one.
Yeah,
it gets it
makes you get a little bit of that time period perspective because you don't see a ton of it outside of the, I guess, Italian racism.
Italians, yeah, I mean, Italians seem to be very, very fucking racist.
Yeah,
at least in all the mob shit, which I mean, I guess is accurate to those guys. I mean, you hear like real mob guys talk; they're kind of just fucking racist.
Sure.
So, I mean, I guess you kind of need it to properly tell the mob stories, right?
Yeah, but it definitely bit a
it's a
little
rough
bit
quote.
more, especially in that scene with all the families. I was like,
And because none
we
of them
sure in 1947 or something.
It's not like you didn't see any of those guys go like, "Ooh, easy."
Yeah.
Man. What I mean? Like,
Everyone was just like, yes.
it's like, yeah, exactly.
My thoughts
Jesus.
exactly.
Yeah, okay. So you think there's stuff there? You think there's reason for it?
Yeah, I see logic.
All right. What happens between there? Oh, well, there's the nice scene in the car afterwards where, Vito well, I don't know what to call him at this point. Here's the thing. I don't think they say Vito, but maybe once in this movie.
No, I don't think we hear it until later.
Vito Corleone until Godfather Part 2.
Yeah. He's
So
Don Corleone.
I guess he's just Don
Yeah.
in this movie. The Don or the Godfather. But that was going somewhere. Oh, so they're in the car afterwards, the Don and Tom Hagen, and they're talking about what to say to the Tatalias, and then he goes, "Barzini's a smart man, he'll know." And he's like, "You mean Tatalia?" And he goes, "It wasn't until this night that I knew it was Barzini all along."
Yeah.
And so whoop-de-doo. I mean, they kind of show it in the meeting too, where Barzini seems a little mad about the issues as well.
Yeah. That
were happening. So apparently they were fighting two families, and then there's the whole thing about Sonny's the master, combat guy, I guess, or strategist as far as the family wars go. And he's like, "Yeah, Tatalia's a pimp." That's what he says. So we have that whole thing. So that's established. Barzini is bad, and he was at the wedding, which means
well, friends close, enemies closer.
which isn't said till the next movie. So, and did Michael get cooed? No, he did not.
No.
So, cooed. Is that the right? Is that a? Can you past tense coup d'état? Can you past tense an abbreviation of coup d'état?
I'm sure it's fine.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked. Email us if it didn't work.
For all
but it worked.
1.5 of you watching right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, man. If you're still here, God bless you.
Yeah.
Godfather bless you.
I would love to hear from you.
Please.
Call me directly. Just whenever you get this.
Yeah. Yeah. So Michael comes back, and he goes and sees Kay,
Fucking K.
and
He just sweet talks her. He's just like nothing ever happened, like nothing mattered. He was just like, "Hey, I'm the greatest thing that's ever happened to you." And she's like, "Yes, I know. I can't wait to continue this relationship."
the fact that she's like out with I don't know what she's doing exactly. I don't remember what they said she was doing in the book, but it
I'd
seemed
say-
like she was the only adult around, and then she just left those kids to go talk to Michael, and that
Fuck
was
them
rather
kids.
funny.
Yeah.
My favorite little line here is, do you know how naive you sound? Presidents and senators don't have men killed. Oh, now who's being naive, Kay?
Yeah.
That's it's a good thing, because they definitely do.
Oh, sure. I mean, I've seen the internet.
Just ask the Clintons. Oh shit, we're done.
This is it.
Yeah, I mean, you have anything in between?
No.
I don't know.
I pretty much just glossed over the fact that I was just frustrated that Michael's now like, all right, Kay, do you want to hang out? Do you
Well,
want
the
to?
funnier part is like, how long you been back? Maybe a year.
It's like a year, maybe. I got bored, so I found you. You
Yeah.
want to grab dinner? I got some cannoli.
And the book, not to keep harping on the book, but like, the dude, he comes back, and she's like waiting at his house because she's like, "Have you seen Michael?" And then they kind of wait till he comes home, and then they kind of embrace. They're like, "Oh, Michael!" And then he takes her to his apartment in the city, and they sit there with a drink, and he's like, "We might as well go to the bedroom, right?" And she's like, "Yeah."
God.
Fucking Puzo, man. And so then, of course he goes into the script detail of how familiar their bodies feel and all that. I mean, like,
It
Puzo,
shouldn't be that familiar since he was banging
Bologna.
Abalonia, baloney girl since or for the past year. How long were they married before she blew up?
Not long.
Yeah.
And Michael's been back a year. So then there's the whole thing in the book where he's like, "Have you had anyone since?" And he's like, "Yeah, but not for a while." It's just a whole stupid thing. Anyway.
I ain't fucked no one since the last one I fucked.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I was worried there for a minute.
Yeah. All right. So enough about Kay Adams and her. Yeah. Fucking Kay. The Al Neri origin story is kind of cool in the book. I mean, ish. The Corleones get him out of jail and everything, and it's a whole deal because he was a cop initially, and then some dude cut up a little girl, and I think it was like a prostitute, and it was a pimp that cut her or something, and then dude like beat him up with a flashlight. Al Neri did, and then Al Neri ends up being Michael's bodyguard, and so like that's one of the only ones that have been in all three movies. Obviously Pacino,
Sure.
Ty Shire, Diane Keaton, and I think Albert Bright or whatever the fuck his name was, something like that. Richard Bright. Who knows? I don't know.
Richard Bright sounds right.
Yeah, not a lot of guys. And Sofia Coppola, oddly enough.
Hmm.
Because she was the baby in the baptism.
Hmm.
And then played, I think, one of Michael's kids in the second one. And then obviously was Michael's daughter in the third.
Yeah. Fun cameo.
Yeah.
I guess it's not really
And she
cameo,
was
but
very bad in the third. Might have ruined the movie a little bit. I mean, couldn't have been worse. It was the only way she could have been worse in the third movie is she just had the script in her hands and read it. Anyway. Yeah, so Al Neri. And then we go to Vegas. Got anything in Vegas?
Vegas was fun because Alfredo was just so.
Did you just call him Alfredo?
Yeah.
Good. I like it.
I don't know. I have weird feelings.
I want to hear all of them right now.
All of them. So he seemed like kind of just really weird and almost pseudo special needs, like early on.
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he's in Vegas and he's like trying to like hold it down a little bit, and he doesn't seem to be doing an excellent job.
No, not at all.
And he's getting slapped around a bit by Green. I'm forgetting his
Mo
first
Green.
name. Mo Green.
You don't come to Vegas and talk to a guy like Mo Green like that.
Yes. So, like, I feel weird about that interaction in general because I'm just like, why? Why did we send him here? Like, why is this the guy that we trusted to get this job?
I gotta kick asses sometimes. He was taking cocktail waitresses to bed 2 at a time. People couldn't get a drink on the floor.
Fuck him.
And I just love uncomfortable Freddy.
Yeah.
You know, he just keeps doing like the.
We've all been there.
He's like, yeah, I'm fucking up.
But yeah, no. So I mean, that scene was kind of fun and a little bit of just like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Get together. But I like the way like Michael came in. It almost had, I guess, some of the same like tone setting of just the I'm going to come in as the reasonable man. I'm going to talk. I guess it almost felt a little bit like Tom coming in and doing a little bit of that like initial interaction and almost negotiation. It's like I'm going to come in. I'm going to speak my piece. You're going to say a thing. You're going to overreact a little bit and get frustrated. I'm going to keep my cool. But at some point,
I'm German-Irish.
At some point, you're going to have to understand, it's like, I'm the fucking G, okay? Like, you need to throw some respect on my name a little bit.
This is like the first moment, other than him telling Tom like he's out.
Yeah.
Really the first moment of Michael just being like, hey, as you said, I'm the G. I'm the guy. Like I am, you know. And, his cigarette smoking is almost. I had 5 Michael cigarettes by the way on the count for him, which is going to greatly increase in the second Godfather because I
It's like
swear
37.
God, he's smoking in like every fucking scene. Anyway, his cigarette smoking is like very intentional. Like it's almost like a power move. I feel like when he's sitting there talking to Mo Green and he's like, you know, he just lights up. He's like, my credit good enough to buy you out. You know, just kind of being casual about it.
It's almost like a body language extension a little bit.
Like I am the big dick in the room.
Yeah.
I hold fire. You bend to my will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of like that, I guess, like that fire implication of that power, I guess, that domination. But I think attributing it a little bit to kind of like the the mob boss with the cigar in his mouth kind of thing. It's that same tone almost that gets said of just the like I'm the G. I guess that's what I keep coming back to. Is just that was that tone setter, I guess, that we really get from it.
I'm a boss.
I'm the boss.
Yeah. All right. So what do we got now? Yeah, that's my favorite line from that whole scene. You don't come to Las Vegas and talk to a man like Mo Green like that.
Fuck Mo Green, bro.
I like Freddy. It's very clear here, and like in the last scene where he talks to his dad in the garden, Michael. They do a very good job just being like, Fredo's kind of the fuck up. We kind of don't take Fredo seriously at all.
He's
Like-
doing something.
Like
It might not be his best, but he's definitely doing something.
Like even in the garden, and they're talking about, you know, the Don's like, you know, I knew Santino would have to go through this. Fredo. And he sits down. He's like, Fredo, huh? I don't know. He's just like even
the
the Don's just,
dismissive. He's
yeah.
like,
like middle child.
Fredo's here, man.
No one cares about the middle child.
Yeah.
But yeah, so even that, just a very like outcast, and then Fredo's just always fucking up. Like I'm pretty sure when he betrays Michael, I'm still confused of like the logistics of. I'm gonna watch Godfather Part 2 like 30 times this week to be like, what is the logistics exactly of this betrayal? Because I'm pretty sure Fredo was just too stupid and got fooled. I'm pretty sure. We're not gonna go into it right now. But, yeah, Fredo's just kind of dumb. and he's very dismissed. And like just the whole thing about in the book, they're like, "Oh yeah, Fredo's banging everybody." That little thing Mo Green said was, only it was kind of the hint
Yeah.
of like what they said in the book about it. But he's like, "Yeah, he's I have that stupid doctor that Lucy marries." In the book, he's like, "Yeah, I'm performing abortions for Fredo all the damn time. I treat him for the clap like a couple times a month." I mean,
Yeah.
he's
So obviously there's a little bit of a layer of Fredo that's like we don't get the
we don't get the full thing. Yeah.
well, yeah, we don't get the full picture of him.
Yeah.
So maybe he's a little bit more charismatic, thoughtful, knowledgeable, something
With the ladies.
else is existing there that
They call him the original bareback rider
yeah.
in the book. So.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that's fun. Vegas is fun. And, the Don died. Any thoughts there?
Oranges apparently
Oranges, yeah.
are a thing, but no, I thought it was kind of a peaceful death
Mm-hmm.
to grant him, all things considered. So I mean, I guess I like the like sappy level of this, that like out of all the chaos that's really been generated throughout the whole movie, a lot of the aftermath and stuff. Just that he gets a kind of quiet and very peaceful death, like in his garden.
Playing with his grandson. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a little bit of like the not quite deserving of it, but also the like no greater peace than that moment kind of thing to die. So a little bit of a duality in that. But I thought that was a nice. It was a well written way, I guess, to end the character.
Yeah. In the book, it's basically the same thing. And the son goes and gets adults, and then Michael and I don't remember who else come out there, and he's just like, the Don's like, "Isn't life beautiful?" And then he dies. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Favorite scene of the movie? Baptism scene. Michael is truly the puppet master here, living up to the cover, and it is epic. That's pretty much what I got on that.
No, I mean it's just such a well done scene. It's a very carefully orchestrated, organized, we're gonna fuck everybody where it hurts type of thing, and we just get to see it all unfold while Michael's pretty much going through this the baptism scenes, like this holy ritual, this sacred kind of thing. Do you
renounce Satan?
Yeah. So it's
I
just,
do.
and it is, I guess it's like kind of a weird thing because it makes you think about really what the position of like that type of figurehead is, to where it's like you're not the actor, you really are just that pulling the puppet strings, like you're the head of the family, but you really just coordinate all the efforts, all the people doing these other things. You're not pulling the trigger, but you are commanding it to be pulled, kind of thing. And I've the impact of that is just very heavy, I think, in that scene. And does an incredible job of kind of showing, I guess, the quote unquote like end of the transformation. Like he's now like fully assimilated into that role, I think, at that stage. And I just think it does a really good job of showing that it's like, all right, like this, like Michael is the guy. He's exacted his revenge, I guess. He's righted all the wrongs, and he's done his part. Everyone's gone.
Yeah, it's almost it's the last fuck you before they leave New York. Like,
Yeah.
everybody just kind of thought like, oh, he's gonna leave peacefully.
Yeah.
They're going to Vegas, and then
It's like, nah, man, I'll leave it in shambles.
just takes everybody out, and he's like, and he clears the way for, Clemenza, and should have been Tessio, but
Yeah.
Tessio was the traitor, so clears the way for them to
Start their own
own
bullshit.
families, and and Carlo finally gets his. So there's that. He's just a straight. He's cold
Yeah.
here, and it's really. Daddy would have been proud.
Yeah. Wait, and it's kind of odd in a way too, just because like Al Pacino portraying him. I'm not sure if in the book if he seemed to be much of a emotion-filled character, but just really throughout the movie in general, I mean, he seems like just such a like kind of flatter toned person. So like when we see these moments of I guess like high revenge or almost like a high emotional reaction kind of thing, it's never as the character is presented, it's always how the action is presented. So like when he does the assassination attempt, or not the I guess I keep calling it the assassination attempt, but like when they're in the restaurant.
I mean, it's an attempt and he succeeded.
Yeah.
Right?
When it's in that, it's like it's felt very like emotional responsive, but like he still felt like a pretty, like clean slated character, cold slated character. Like he didn't have a lot of emotion in that, but it was an emotional reaction in that scene. And then the same thing through like the baptism scene. It's like it was still kind of an emotional reaction, but like him, the character, was still very like clean slated, like this cold slated person.
I think part of that's probably the the Don said to Sonny, when he speaks up in the meeting, and he's like, hey, it's like, don't let, when he lectures him after the meeting, he's like, don't ever let anybody know outside of the family what you're thinking again.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of that, don't let them know what you're thinking. So I guess it's part of the gig, right?
Sure.
It's just having to be cold, quiet. Gotta always just kind of be stone-faced and don't let anybody know what you think of them. And
yeah. And I mean, all things considered, I mean, he did an incredible job at that, because I don't think anyone could have been in a room with him and know, what was going on in his head at the time. So.
Yep. So then we got the end pretty much, and Connie comes back, is crying and, just hysterical.
Yeah.
It's like, he killed, which is funny that she's done this 180 on Carlo, where she's like Carlo, even at the
I
end.
hate you, I'll kill you, all this bullshit. And I was like, you killed him, what have you killed? She called him, I think, just like a cold-hearted bastard or something, but there's a very specific like inflection in her voice that felt very hurtful towards Michael.
You waited till Daddy was dead, and
Yeah.
And then the whole thing about, he's like, she killed him, or he killed him, look at the papers, that's your husband.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, Tally Shire's great. Yo, Adrian. Yeah, same girl. So, from Rocky.
She did a good job, though, for sure, and kind of expressing all of that, like, I'm a battered woman in a relationship kind of thing, but I still, I have those lost feelings of like, you've took away my husband, even though he beat me and cheated on me and was a terrible piece of shit human being.
Like, by the way, when Michael walks into Carla's house and, he's like hanging up the phone. I mean, in the book, supposedly he had like called his mistress and was like, "Yeah, I should be able to get out there around like 8 tonight." So like, even though like everything's like fine, supposedly, like he's still fucking around on her.
Yeah.
So.
But I liked kind of the context in general that we got to kill him off with.
Yes.
Because it's like
thinks he's okay.
Yeah, because I think they said like, we're gonna fly you out to Vegas.
Yeah, he gives him the ticket and everything. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, so everything's good. Like, get in the car or whatever. He's
goes to hug him by. He's like, get out of my sight.
Yeah. He's like, all right. So he gets in the car, and then that's Clemens in the back seat who does the
strangling.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what that's called. I mean, it really is just a fucking like piano wire on the thing, but just chokes the shit out of him, kicks out that front window, which I thought was the just camera angle wise, just having that like front angle there to where we can see the shoes kind of like kicking, cracking, and then kicking out that front window. I just thought it was framed super well, and I love stuff like that. Yeah, that was fun. It was a good way to take care of quote unquote Carlo, but
yeah, and of course Tessio gets whacked the scene before, but we don't show him die. We just show him getting in a car and driving off.
Yeah, it's implied.
It's implied. So I counted him in the death count.
Sure.
So, I just love how Connie's upset and Michael tries to hug her and comfort her, and he's like, this isn't working. So he's like, oh, get her a doctor. She's hysterical.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
she's
it's-
upset and
It's
absolutely
1940. You called in a doctor to sedate a hysterical woman so she can calm down. That's just that was just the calling of the time.
correct. Yeah, she's upset and correct. Get her a doctor, quick.
We must fix this.
Um,
Got to do that ice pick lobotomy so she doesn't think right ever again.
yeah. You see the true change in Michael where he's talking to Kay. And Kay's like, is that true? Do you have him? I told you don't ask me about my work, Kay.
Yeah.
He's like, is it true, Michael? Enough! Just that. Because he doesn't snap.
He's not emotive in
he's
any way.
very
so.
even keeled. And so then when he just gets that like flash of like, yeah! And it's flashes of like future Pacino because his voice just gets like rough later.
Yeah.
And he's just, I don't know, like
It's like he suddenly turned into a man.
Yeah, like I don't know. Young Godfather Pacino is just fucking awesome. It must have been after fucking Scarface, right? Like
They were like, listen, man, once you get some grit in you, like you sound like badass. Seems like, all right, let's.
yeah, that's me. Like I don't know. It's a weird change for his voice to have gone through because he just sounds so like I don't like what Walt says about Johnny Fontaine earlier when he's like, and then Johnny Fontaine comes along with his olive oil voice and his guinea charm.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, for lack of a better term, like that's kind of Pacino's voice, like in this of just kind of got this like not olive oil voice, but like just smooth.
Yeah.
It's he's controlling, like he's always in control. And then he gets to 3 and it's like too late, and so he's kind of like this, but like he's like trying to be quiet. I don't know. It's funny to listen to that change. Anyway.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it's a flash to future Pacino.
My only thing on that kind of ending interaction is just really fun that it's because I think we get the scene where it's like almost from Kay's perspective and it's looking down and seeing the doors, and they're kind of doing the interaction, and then the doors close.
And it's that divide that really comes to fruition in the next movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the divide that grows between them, where they just shut, Neri just kind of nods at her and shuts the door, and it's like this part of his life's always going to be more important than the life that you two have, and I think that's very representative. So even though it is a story about family, it's a story about like if you're in this life too, like which family is the more important one, and for all these guys, it is the actual mafia part that is more important because
It's the business.
the stakes are
That's-
much
yeah.
higher.
Yeah.
So.
But I also like to go for the really long stretch and look at that scene from like the old Michael to now Michael perspective, and that like old Michael was the viewer from the other side of the door as the citizen, kind of seeing Don Corleone, doing his work in there. You see what's going on. You have the context. That door closes, and you have to accept it and let it go.
Right.
So if I can stretch and reach a little bit there, I think that's kind of a nice thing to end on.
I don't
Is
think
a
it's
little
too
bit of
much
that
of a reach.
that
I mean, I think it's-
transformation too is to be from old Michael's perspective as well.
I don't think it's too much of a reach. I think it's, yeah. Well, that's the beautiful thing about movies, right? Is you can just
I can interpret
take
the
any.
shit out
Yeah,
of this.
you can be like, well, I think it's I think it's a commentary on how capitalism has ruined America. And you're like, what? How'd you get that?
I think anything
like-
can be a commentary on
shit.
how capitalism has ruined America, and it would still be right.
I think it's a commentary on how socialism's bad. And you're like, okay.
You might want to say a few more sentences after that, but maybe.
I think it's a commentary on why abortion is wrong. You're like, whoa, hold on. Supposedly in the book, Apollonia is pregnant, so then, that was kind of a double kill.
Sure.
It
Oh, get out.
was kind of an indirect abortion there. Or it's rather direct, I suppose, but anyhow, yeah, the last book connection there is not really that interesting. So, would you rate The Godfather?
I rated as I'd watch it again.
What would you say? If you had to give a rating.
If I had to give a rating, I would say an 8.1.
Yeah.
It's long as shit, but and
Yes.
especially watching it again through this week, because so many like small parts of the story are split up. I feel like it was a lot easier to go through. And I was very excited, I guess, to go through because I remembered what happens like later on in this movie. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Like we're building up to like these small sequences that I look forward to. 8.1 out of 10 sounds like a good number for me.
I love these movies, like the mob stuff, so it's probably going to get a solid 9 from me just because I just love it.
Sure.
Maybe it doesn't fully deserve a 9 because just some of the goofy stuff and the Italy stuff and the length.
Yeah.
When it probably didn't have to be as long as it did. Like, I would have rather some of the deleted scenes with Sonny and the send Luca out to, like the Janie thing being included, I think.
Yeah, I would
have
have
rather
traded
some of that
minutes of
for
Italy
some of the Italy.
for some of those deleted scenes for sure.
I don't know. I guess I see what Francis is saying when he goes, like, this is the part of the transformation. Because if you dig real into it, because you can get whatever you want out of whatever you see, right?
Sure, if you dig deep enough, you'll get whatever answer you're looking for.
But if you think about, like, like part of that whole thing is, like, of like getting Barzini, right? His enemies found out he's there. That's the whole reason Apollonia is dead. And so it's the consequences of this life. And so then, the vengeance for the transgressions against him, right? And then killing. I don't know. It's I see what they're saying, but I would have liked less of it. Like, you could have just been like, I don't need to see Michael hiking through the countryside. There's a reason they cut him finding his dad's childhood home. There's a reason they cut when they see a communist demonstration in Italy, So
It's just some things just don't add value to the story, to the character.
like you could have shown me him being like, oh look, I'm in Italy, right? Or like, oh, we sent him to Italy, and then all of a sudden, he's like, oh, I don't know. You could ease us into like, oh, he's got a wife now, and
In my head, I
chilling
could
on the
do a
villa.
1.5-minute supercut of the entire Italy sequence.
Well, right, it's still got to be
You know-
cinematic.
You
though,
know what I mean? But
mean?
but like it still would be. It'd be the Michael's in Italy, and then he does a little bit of the wandering for like 10-15 seconds, and it's the eye contact with this girl, and then it's the father interaction, and then it's we don't have to have the context of, oh, I gotta have this guy translate, and oh, I may have said something that upset him because I was talking about his daughter.
Right.
We don't need all that shit. No one cares.
Yeah.
We're in Italy. Ah, girl. I like girl. I marry girl. I bone girl. We bone girl every night. Bone girl explode.
No,
Bone
not
girl
Bone Girl.
everywhere.
Not Bone Girl.
Not bone girl. R.I.P. bone girl.
Fucked up part is that I'm pretty sure that actor was like 16.
Rough.
Yeah, rough. Yeah.
But yeah, just in my head, you can supercut that, and it's fine.
Yeah, there's probably a way to definitely shorten it and still get like the cinematic value out of it, and maybe get some like Genko dying. Maybe not as important,
Yeah.
but
I mean, not having knowledge of that scene prior to today,
right.
I felt like I still had a pretty good,
Grasp on
pretty good grasp of things.
it. Yeah.
But however, seeing some of those scenes though, it is kind of neat to see, and some of those, especially like once it was like post like the Don getting kablamoed, that would have added, I think, a little bit of value to it, and I definitely would have traded seconds out of the Italy sequences for those scenes to have been in the movie instead.
Yeah.
But
Ugh,
so be
excuse
it.
me. Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun.
In the name of the Godfather, the Gunson, and the Godly Spirit, whatever. This has been Godfather Part 1.
Yeah. You can. You know it all.
Do the thing. You can like, comment, and subscribe. You can find us on the YouTubes. You can find us on the Twitters. Podcasts available everywhere. We have an Instagram where we post clips.
Twitter too. Yeah.
There's Twitter. There's everything. We're on your average social media platform. Just look. Would you look?
Well, like I was thinking about this the other day, how we always say it, and then I was like, I guess we gotta say it for the audio, right? But if for the audio, I guess you can say, hey, we're on YouTube, and that helps.
We're on YouTube.
But then on YouTube, like, don't you have like a thing, like at the end, like, here's the email, here's the Twitter.
Yeah.
So like, it's like.
No, the point is to oversaturate your contact points. So that way you have the highest % chance. If everybody knows that there's multiple different times they'll be reminded that they can contact you and interact with you in multiple different ways, you have the highest % chance of that interaction. Rather than if I only have a 10-second period of where I'm like, you can only contact me at this thing, I have just a much narrow window for interaction.
So we want to say it, and then we want to show it.
Yeah.
And then we should probably say it like 3 to 4 times throughout the podcast.
According to the average person I follow on YouTube, roughly about like a minute and a half to 3 minutes into any of their videos, they're like, by the way, I see that not everybody's commented and subscribed to our channel, so do that now so we can continue making content. Like, it's a whole shebang. So, I mean, we could be annoying like that. I just can't imagine that's...
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Unless we get like a very hardened intro sequence, I don't see the value in it.
Yeah, let's just. So look, what'd you learn today?
What did I learn? I learned that it is hard to meet the expectations of your family, and sometimes you do have to take matters into your own hands, take expectations into your own hands, and kind of make it work for yourself. You can't make everybody happy, but sometimes you have to do what has to be done. But you should still make sure that you keep your own interests at the front line there, because at the end of the day, you're the only one taking care of yourself.
I learned the Corleones are moving out to Vegas, and that's where they'll be next movie.
That made a lot more sense than what I said, for sure.
All right, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You know where to
Do the thing.
So, goodbye.